Hey everybody, welcome back to Booze and News. We're here at the Rec Room, and I'm joined this week with
Deleon,
Timely Rain,
and Abbey Vollman.
Thanks for coming back, you guys. I'm happy to be here with y'all, getting drunk, talking about current events. I also want to give a big shout out to our whiskey sponsor again for this episode is Milam Greene. This week we're going to be having a straight rye whiskey finished in port wine cask. It's 94 proof.
Ooh.
All right, so we have the straight rye whiskey, you know, and then we've also got gay beer. So we're going to be mixing it up.
Fuck yeah.
This week.
We're bisexual tonight, gentlemen.
That's right.
little bit of whiskey.
There you go.
Never hurt nobody.
A little bit of Takis.
Yeah,
And,
we're gonna have
A little bit of Bud.
So
Light.
I think this is going to be a very interesting whiskey. I want to know what you guys think because it is finished in port wine cask.
I'm gonna try it straight too.
Yeah, I should have done that. Oh well.
Yeah.
It's good.
Great.
That's
It tastes
Ron
like-
Swanson whiskey.
Yeah, it tastes like a man. It has a manly finish.
Some women made it though.
Dude, the quote on the
They killed it. They
quote,
did awesome.
The quote on the bottle is excellent. It says, "When facing down a great bear, don't play dead. Rather, make light of the situation. Keep eye contact and pour a drink for two." Awesome.
It feels like
I love that.
the bottle's telling us to give up in a way,
That's
and
right.
I love that.
No, I feel like maybe it's kind of like, you know.
Oh, I'm drinking both of those whiskeys.
Yeah, no, but hey, in the face of adversity, you can either say, "Fuck you,"
Yeah, but
or
if you're gonna get attacked by a bear, you're drinking both whiskeys. You know?
you're not giving him
Jonathan
a
has
little
point.
bit.
Yeah, I'm in a rough spot. I'm not gonna offer the bear whiskey. That's not how that works at all.
No.
Be like, Abby, what happened to you in the woods? I offered a bear whiskey
I offered
and
it.
I lost my arm.
Although, whiskey bear or cocaine bear? I mean, which one are you?
Whiskey.
Whiskey bear.
I would
Whiskey
fight
bear.
whiskey bear.
The whiskey
Yeah.
bear might, stumble, fall over.
Right.
That was
Cocaine bear,
Too high functioning.
it has strength for about 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and every minute counts.
I think I've dated a couple whiskey bears.
All right. Well, we've got our booze, and we're just gonna go ahead and jump into our first topic of the week.
We've got our news.
We got our news.
And our
I was
booze.
literally going to say that.
From
Right?
cocaine bear to fentanyl cops. All right, so we're going to start off with the police this week.
Oh.
You
Has
ready? And so there's a great story
Here we
that
go.
came out just recently. This is from, I believe, California. Let's see here. San Jose, California, the Bay Area. An executive director of the San Jose Police Officers Association has been charged with attempting to illegally import a controlled substance. According to the United States Department of Justice, Joanne Marianne Segovia, 64, is accused of ordering thousands of opioids to her home and agreeing to distribute them in the United States. So yeah, here we go. She's been
Sounds like
charged
she's
with
a
it.
bad criminal.
Yeah.
Sounds like she's a bad bitch.
Yeah, holy shit. She's like, I'm white, they won't catch me. Just send them all to my front porch.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
the hell does that?
Police
I know.
officers.
That's right.
Yeah, thinking you're above the fucking law?
They think they can do whatever the fuck they want.
It really reminds
They
me.
think or they can?
They can.
They can.
Yeah. It really reminds me of, there was a Denzel Washington movie that was about like the government and bringing over opium. You know what I'm talking about? During like Vietnam. There's also all of the stories about like the CIA like basically starting the crack epidemic. Like this doesn't fucking surprise me whatsoever.
Not at all.
Like the fact that the police are probably responsible for a lot of the fucking fentanyl that's killing people.
100%. And there's a shortage of other controlled substances.
Like crack cocaine.
Like crack cocaine, and I meant prescribed Adderall, but crack cocaine works
Well, I mean,
too.
crack cocaine was a government fucking
Yeah.
deal anyway,
They
so
made-
I'm not
It's really
going
all
to be
Reagan's
super confused if it's all, they're also like behind fentanyl. But here it says that she refused to show agents her Cash App history.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
She's guilty. She's super guilty.
Guilty.
And she doesn't want to pay taxes on how guilty she is either.
No.
Also, she was just using the postal service, and that's pretty fucking
Isn't that kind of
brazen.
See, this is really wild to me. Like, she really thought she was that far above it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She used regular old USPS,
Mm-hmm.
WhatsApp, Cash App.
I wonder, is like San Jose actually like really small town?
No, San Jose is
it's
pretty
huge.
big. Yeah, so it's not like it's in the corner of the bay. It's got a
she's
big
like
college there.
She's like a secret drug dealing
Drug
cop,
lord.
like, because I feel like in small towns sometimes it just like makes a little more sense in my brain. I can draw the through line. Like,
know,
but
I
in
think-
bigger towns, like, how do you?
I don't know, because that's essentially San Francisco. It's like
So
yeah, right.
So I spoke with some people about the fentanyl thing of the day because I was like, why would you want to kill your customers? You know. And so what's been described to me, how fentanyl gets into other things like cocaine, is that they're cutting them up in the same rooms on the same tables.
Right.
That's the only reason, because nobody's intentionally putting fentanyl in fucking cocaine, right?
No, the only.
There might be, but
No, they're cutting with other things, but not that. Like
Well,
they use, I believe, fentanyl to
so,
cut heroin
look,
and shit.
with-
they do.
Ooh.
There's also with like fentanyl and cocaine. Cocaine has become like way less of what we think about it, like, you know, from like the 70s. It doesn't do the same thing. A lot
Right.
of cocaine is like honestly very synthetic. So the amount of actual cocaine in a bag that you buy is so little that you're not gonna feel fucked up. So
Yeah.
a very easy way for drug dealers, they're not trying to kill you. If they do want to put it in there, they're trying to mask the fact that there's not the real drug in
Yeah,
there.
but
So
I-
you're getting fucked up.
For sure, and they would use
Yeah.
things like speed, you know what
Yeah,
I mean,
well, and like-
or a little meth.
Pressies
You
have
know what I mean?
fentanyl in them too, because if you're
Yeah.
not going to put real Molly in them and you want somebody to
Caffeine,
feel like they're rolling,
things like that.
Yeah.
you're going to make them feel
But
like
not
they're done.
fentanyl.
Same
From
with
what
ketamine.
I've heard from very credible folks who know their stuff about drugs is
Yeah.
that the fentanyl comes from literally them on the same like table,
Mm-hmm.
right? Cutting cocaine and cutting heroin, a little bit gets
Yeah.
in there because
And
of
that's,
that,
you
and it
know,
just
the
takes a
risk you
little
take
bit.
when you do illegal substances.
Yeah.
That's
You know?
why I quit a
You
year
snort a
ago.
little heroin, you're injecting a little cocaine, fentanyl is everywhere. How about we drink a
And if
Bud
anyone
Right.
thinks that we don't know what we're talking about, just so everyone is reminded that we do comedy.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah.
My expertise comes
I'm a
from not
recovering
doing
addict.
the drugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
We watch Timely
Do them.
formerly. Used to watch Timely do the drugs, and then now I have an education.
I used to Facebook Live high all the time.
That's
I'm sure
insane.
you can show
Now I've got a kind of crazy perspective on this before we move off of it, but so it's no surprise to me that the police are the ones that are probably handling a lot of this,
Can
making
you
a lot
scroll
of money.
back up to her hair?
Oh, the lady, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Check her out.
Yeah, that's
That's
like,
not- that's not
oh,
her.
where was the photo of her? There was a photo of
all the
her.
way up, all the way up, all the way up.
was there?
Oh.
Oh, maybe before
Reload.
the
It was
video.
probably in
Reload.
this
Before the
video,
video, it was probably the
yeah.
thumbnail of that video.
Yeah.
Look for that. You'll know it when you see it. Scrolling down there. Not her hair.
Oh my god.
Fuck. I don't know.
The white lady.
Okay, just go back and here. Look, I'll find.
I saw it on your iPad
Yeah.
because I feel like her hair would add an
Oh my
interesting.
God.
This
Here we
lady
go.
right there, yeah.
She
Her
looks like
hair.
a school principal.
Yeah,
like-
she does.
She's
She
got
looks
the
so
double
suburban
toned
white lady.
dye hair. She's got it bleached on top. Like she is badass, dude.
And you know she probably murders people.
Literally.
And eats them.
Yeah. but
She
my
got good teeth for doing fentanyl.
but my
She's like pretty put together for being cracked out of her mind.
here's
you know?
here's what I wanted to say. Well, maybe she doesn't dip into her own supply. You know, maybe
Maybe
she.
not.
That's
she-
worse.
Right.
She's one of those weirdo sober
That's
drug dealers.
worse.
But-
yeah.
Those are
What I was
going
gonna
to
say is- You know, if we just decriminalized and legalized all drugs, right, you wouldn't have the police fucking running this shit.
And
The
I wouldn't
government would be
mad
doing
at
it. And what would happen is instead of your cocaine having some fentanyl in it, it would be regulated. It would be pure. Right?
Yeah, it's
Because
true.
like you don't ever open a bottle of delicious Milam Greene whiskey and think you're gonna get anything other than that whiskey in there, right? Because that's regulated.
Right.
So if the government decided to regulate cocaine, we could enjoy the cocaine of the old days, you know?
Sorry, Milam Greene. This is the. This
No, it's
is
a
not
good
what
plug.
I'm
It's a
gonna.
good plug with it.
Yeah. No, it's a solid plug. Milam Greene, exactly like cocaine from
From
the
the
70s.
They know they legalized that shit, and no one would go work the shitty jobs at Amazon and all that bullshit.
I would have 5
We
shitty
would everyone
jobs at
just be
Amazon.
doing their
so
own
true.
thing.
Can
It
you
would
imagine?
probably
That's
make it
why they
cheaper.
don't let that shit roll.
It probably would make it
It's a
cheaper.
fucking
Same
conspiracy.
thing.
Yeah,
I've-
like racism's actual.
I've
That
also
too.
I've also heard that that's probably one of the largest reasons why the federal government doesn't just decriminalize marijuana is because a lot of these industries lobby against it because they would lose money.
Yeah.
Well, no, and the main reason is because all of the privatized prisons in
Oh, yeah.
America would have no money, everybody would be freed from
half of the
fucking
people in
jail.
prison.
Yeah.
Well, they'd have to retroactively do that. You know what I mean? But it would just decriminalizing it wouldn't free all those people. Who
No,
passed
No,
away.
but it should.
Yeah,
it should, but it won't. It
Yeah.
won't.
All right, well, we're going to stay on kind of the fuck the police train for a little bit here. As we talk
You're
about...
doing this shit on purpose, Jonathan.
As we talk about...
I love it. A police scared me on the way here.
Some... scary.
That's all like
In Oklahoma, a sheriff and 2 staffers were caught on like a hot microphone, basically talking about lynching black people and like reminiscing about the good old days when you could just get away with that, and also talking about potentially assassinating a journalist that they didn't like. And they have been suspended from their job, but it's...
But they'll never fire them.
I think they'll probably get fired, yeah.
Well,
But
that's
it's like, do they lose their benefits? Probably not. They probably get their retirement and all
Yeah,
that
they
shit.
probably
Right,
get all their
right,
shit.
right.
I don't know, dude. It's just.
And they're claiming that there was an illegally obtained conversation, so it's not basically admissible,
No,
Some
you don't want people like that fucking working for you. It's like the same arguments why people lose their scholarships and jobs over social media.
Yeah.
I guess on social media it's not illegally obtained, but if you're a police officer, you're being recorded constantly. You don't get to choose when and what you say at work or to a coworker is.
And it's like the same people who, like, older people always telling younger people, like, be careful what you put online.
That's
And
the
it's
other
like, be
thing,
careful
too.
what you say out loud.
Careful what you do, period.
Yes.
Let's see, I think I got some of the audio here. You want to check it out?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Giving these assholes agency.
Tonight, a small town family-run
Just go to Conroe and hear this.
Right? At least it's in Oklahoma this time. always
Y'all keep talking about it why
Why you figure this
that
out?
Well, we're Jonathan's I think picking these topics up front because we found out that my troll was my cousin.
You had a troll?
I've
we had
been
a-
Are we
having-
gonna give your troll aid?
Oh,
and he's a police officer.
oh, well, he's bored. That's it.
Yeah.
You have
But he's
nothing
been
going on in your life, so you troll a podcast TikTok? All
What
right.
if it's
dude.
actually not your cousin?
It is. I found out. I
Oh, you
found out
did?
through another family member.
Since the last time we talked about this. Man, get the
Crazy. Hey, how
It's been
many
going on for like
people
3
do you
years.
think that lady's hair lynched, though?
Well, shit.
Okay, I don't want to read this out loud.
Oh, no, it's bad. That's why I didn't want to read it out loud.
Yeah.
Well, let's not read it out
It's
loud
not
then,
good.
Jonathan.
It can't be good.
God damn it.
I wanted them to read it, you know what I mean? And I wanted them to say the horribly.
But okay, I will say the last thing he said because it's so fucked up. Said after he said the fucked up thing about lynching them, he said, "But you can't do that anymore. They've got more rights than we've got."
Which
That-
is
That just shows the like disease that's
Brain
eating
rot.
Racism
that kind
is a
of
disease.
America.
They got
bro.
more rights than we do.
they got more rights than we got, bro.
Yeah.
First of all, let's knock you down a peg. If you think that this is a free country,
Yeah.
you're gonna need to drink some Bud Light. Enlighten yourself. You gotta figure it out. It's not.
They also make
But
fun.
also, there are people that have it way worse than white men specifically, but also just white people. Like in a place
Oh,
that's
you don't
already
say?
not working for living in a state that's already not for the people, even though we say we the people.
Yeah. No, it's obvious. It's also it's so delusional to
It is
one think
delusional.
that they actually have more rights than you because no, they don't. We
I-
just saw a cop who was blatantly importing fucking fentanyl to her house to do the postal service, right?
And she was
Right.
white. You saw her.
and
She was
dealing
white.
it.
What I
No,
don't-
they're just mad because they literally want to like hurt people, and,
Right.
and it's against the law, so it's frustrating for them. That's like
But then, like,
psycho
why do they go?
murdering.
Like, why do you become a police officer? That's what I'm really curious about because I feel like the way it was
You know why? Because they want to.
Explain to me.
They
people.
want to. They
Like,
want to
they
fuck.
want that
they wanna
power.
fuck people.
Right, you want to have power. You
Yeah.
have like grades. You don't want to go full military, so you go into being a cop. I feel like so. I don't know.
Yeah, they do it because they want to fuck people that don't
Yeah.
look like them.
Yeah, a
They
lot
do,
of
and that's the other thing too. I was gonna say, like in my personal brain, lynching is so serious and so far from any punishment that I would ever assign anybody ever. So I'm really curious about what the fuck we're doing in the state of Oklahoma that is giving these grown adults.
And this
Like-
is just a little bit of leaked audio that we
This
got.
is just
Where
this
there-
is
How
exactly
much do
what
you
I'm
think this
saying.
kind of shit is going around
Like
all
what
around?
kind of media are people in Oklahoma consuming? What kind of schooling did they receive? What are these places like? Because I don't travel anywhere like this for this reason.
Yeah.
You know
no,
what I mean?
No. Well, and
Like-
it's also.
Have you ever been to Oklahoma?
No.
So I've been. It's wild because it's like
Is
yeah,
it like going like in
so
a time machine?
It is
Oh,
pretty.
it is?
It is
Isn't it
pretty.
beautiful?
But it's
I didn't
so
know
it
that.
reminds
My
me.
brother went
It
recently.
reminds me a lot of Texas. It's very conservative. It's very
Yeah.
very rural.
Yeah.
But here's the other crazy thing: there's fucking weed everywhere. Everywhere
Well, because
there's
they can
weed.
grow.
Weed
You're
and, yeah.
legally allowed to grow.
That there's, like every other business I saw now is like a goddamn dispensary or a liquor store and casinos. So it's like get liquored up, get fucked up, party,
Right.
but then
But love Jesus.
but love Jesus, conservative, and F minorities. You know
Well,
what I mean?
it's also, I don't know, it's just like weird when you, because even if they can come out and say like, oh, we were joking, like, which even is not any kind
Probably
of
the worst
It's
defense
probably
I
the
could
worst
think of.
defense you can think of, but it's like, how could you so jovially be like.
Well, no one's gonna believe- no one would
I
ever
know,
believe
I know,
that.
but be like
Yeah.
remembering on like, back in my day, we could do this like the same way you would be like, oh, remember that Mexican food restaurant
Yeah,
that we
back in
ate
your
at?
day,
Like, when
it was
we
the
were younger.
80s.
I wish we could still go there. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
And they're like, I wish we could still murder people for no goddamn reason.
Who are you murdering in the 80s?
Black people.
But in the 80s.
But it was
It was
illegal.
just in the 80s. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They're like, oh, back in the good old days. How old are these cops?
Well, I always,
Yeah, right?
I always try to remember that actually, you know, we're all around like 20s to 30s. You know what I mean? And so it seems like our lives have been like a different world than what our parents grew up in and goddamn our grandparents, right? And that was only one person ago. One person ago, most of these people didn't they couldn't drink out of the same water fountains as
That's so
us.
true.
You know what I mean? Like it's
That's so
insane to remember that
Well,
sometimes.
and
You know?
fucking,
It is.
like 2 people ago, there was the Holocaust. Like, and so it's really, it's hard. I feel like if we don't talk about stuff like this all the time, which is one of the reasons why I like doing this, is like it's so easy to just believe like the media that's in your face right now, and like kids literally aren't getting taught about history
At all.
anymore.
So
At all.
I want to kind of wrap this topic up, but I want to do it by this. So there was a big campaign. What was this? Like 2 years ago during Black Lives Matter? Was that about right? No, 3 years. Almost 3 years ago now. Yeah. To defund the police.
Yeah.
And to reform police because of police brutality and all the shit that we know exists. You know what I mean? That we've seen because of the body cam footage and the leaked audio and all of that. You know, and really not much has been done on that regard. But what they're now wanting to do in New York City. The mayor, who was a former police officer, if you remember, is now bringing out robot police officers. This is their solution. So they've got the New
Can't
York
wait to
City,
fucking move there.
the New York City.
Oh yeah, isn't this
Help me, this guy's attacking me on the subway, robo dog.
Bark, bark. Stop, black
He's like,
person.
stop at once.
I get a call from you, like a
Tennis ball
FaceTime.
sensor, detect, like what?
Deploy rape kit.
You're getting like
Yeah.
arrested by a
No.
robot.
You're like, whoa, I haven't been raped
Stop.
yet. Put
This
that
is-
rape kit away. I still got a chance.
Stop. This is the police. Put your weapon down.
Bark,
You
bark.
kick it.
I don't have a weapon. Put it down.
I told you, don't move to New
I
York
mean,
City with those
so-
big city slickers. They
so-
got robot cops.
I got robot cops.
So it's at one point.
Goddamn robot cops.
This is like somebody's Fox News parents' worst nightmare. Like,
And by the way, I just want to
I'm
say.
gonna move to the city and pursue my dreams. But no, baby, you ain't. They got robo cops, you know?
those
I
cops-
saw iRobot. I love.
I
In this
saw it.
family, we love Will Smith.
We do.
This thing is fucking terrifying, by the way.
No, I hate that.
Did you see
That
him?
looks like something you would see in a Hellraiser
Did you?
film.
Did you? Did
What's
you?
that going? It got bullets on it.
Hey, it
It can crip walk.
dances.
Hold on, real quick.
Bro,
dances.
It's Widowy hitting the Woody right now.
You know.
It's Widowy doing the Woody on New York City.
Oh my god. All right, so
Hold on,
what freaks me out about this is that it really is just an expansion of the fucking like surveillance state, of course, but then also like
What does it have on it?
Is there a white man controlling it behind this curtain?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yeah, that's Oz. And yeah, there's just some old, like the most racist old white man that they can't actually put in the spotlight or on the street, so he's back there just like
You're like, our
harassing
robodogs
black
have
folks.
actually-
This is what their pensions
Got
turned
the
into.
Confederate flag in the background.
Hold on, I want to say something real quick, kind of
Yeah.
off topic. I watched a video of the same robot carry a like old timey cart. Like instead of horses, this guy just had one robot like this, and it carried him around in a cart. And so I wonder if we're also gonna get
What about till one of these chokes the fuck out of somebody?
Yeah, honestly, I'm like,
just
what does
carries
it do,
you
though?
like this home
Because it's got like a claw
by the nape
arm.
of your
Could you
neck.
imagine just like walking home late at night in New York by yourself and one of these things just grabs your
Weed.
arm or your purse and you go,
Dude!
you go hey!
You're
I would fight it off. What do you do? You're like, hey, I'm walking in. I'm just going home.
I had that
It's
question.
gonna happen to you,
Smoking
Abby.
up.
It's gonna happen.
I actually had that question that I wanted to ask you guys. Is like, wait, so let's say this thing's fucking you up. It's a robot. It's not really a cop. Can you
What
fight
I
it
know.
back? No, right?
Does it have rights?
It's got more rights than
It's
me,
got more-
goddammit.
Can I kick it?
No, dude, these robots got more
You know what
rights
they
than
say
me.
about like stray dog attacks? Like you decide, you're like, you kick it. You know,
Yeah.
can I kick the robot, or is that assaulting an officer?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, also, like, I don't have to. What does this mean for? Hold on.
Oops, sorry.
What does this mean for, like, isn't the law, like, you know, whenever they read you your Miranda rights, you don't have to say anything that can incriminate you. To, like, a person that's a law, like, there's a wordage in there that's, like, to a law enforcement officer.
I actually
And
saw
so-
something recently that says they don't even have to read you your fucking Miranda rights.
That's
What?
not true.
That's
No,
not-
no,
that's
no.
insane.
I'll look it up while you keep saying your
They
point.
don't?
Yeah.
But,
That's the most insane fucking thing I've ever heard. That's the most basic
okay,
right.
but, like I'm saying, like you just said, am I assaulting an officer? Does that robot have rights? Do I have to answer his fucking questions? Or, like, can I treat it like a fucking Uber Eats robot where I, like, turn him back around, slap his ass, and send him on his way? Like, I don't know.
Police are not required to read your Miranda rights before or during an arrest.
Yeah. The Supreme Court, I think, heard this recently and were like, no, they don't have
Yeah,
to
in
do
2000. Oh, I do remember that. I was very
Yeah.
sad that day.
that. Yeah.
2000 or 2022.
I do remember that, actually. That's so shitty. And, like, that, yeah, no.
Also,
even know
I
about
want
that.
the police dog, if it's going to do, it has to at least say bark, bark.
Or
Yeah, you're
Isn't it
under,
supposed to
stop,
be a
bark,
dog?
bark.
does it
It
have
is a dog, yeah.
super-
Is it a dog or it just has like 4 legs?
No, it's a
coincidentally?
dog.
It's not a dog.
Yeah. It's totally a dog. You could love that thing.
No.
No, not at all.
If
It
it would
took my
take me
job.
to work, like, if I could sit on it.
No, this is going to end badly. But I mean, anyway.
I mean, couldn't you just kick it into the subway tracks?
Who's the company that made
Oh, that's a good question.
Who made it?
I'm not
74
sure.
grand.
Boston Dynamics. So Boston Dynamics is actually like probably the leading robotic company in the
Yeah, I
world.
know.
Yeah.
And Tesla is trying to be, but they're not. They're nowhere.
They're
close.
not.
just full
They're
of
not.
idiots.
No, Tesla isn't.
Full of idiots.
So anyway, that's that. So good news. We're gonna
SpaceX
replace
is not
race. We're gonna
Tesla.
replace racist
Yeah.
old white cops with robot dog cops that are probably run by racist old white
Right,
cops.
I was just about to
So.
say. We got robot dogs, but
Mm-hmm.
don't be darker than them.
All right. Well, speaking about, this is the kind of a transition, but it's still kind of about cops, I guess. This is about the military. There was
lot of
a.
cop shit going on.
We were talking about Black Lives Matter when it was that was going on. There was a. I believe this guy's
Oh,
a
yes, I know
sergeant.
this. I hate this.
So
This
his
guy
name,
looks funny.
Daniel Perry was an army sergeant who fatally shot Garrett Foster at a Black Lives Matter protest in Austin, Texas. He was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and deadly conduct, and he is going to jail for that. But the reason why this normally you'd be like, oh, cool, a little bit of justice, you know. Story seems to have a nice kind of ending to a horrible story, you know, as good as it can get. Well, it seems like Greg Abbott is going to go ahead and just pardon this guy, so. Yeah.
Are they buddies?
I mean, they're
White men.
Yeah, they're.
You missed a very important part of this story. It says Daniel Perry, the Army sergeant and rideshare driver. And
now
You
a
mean working
rideshare
for
driver.
Uncle Sam don't make you that much money? You
Yeah.
have to get your insurance through Uber Eats. You
Oh.
fuckhead.
Yeah, so they're not the ones bailing you out of fucking.
Well, this sets a really bad precedent, I think, that actually the idea of a governor or a president being able to pardon whoever they want, like within their,
That's
like,
kind of insane.
It doesn't make any sense.
Very like
No.
monarchy, kind of like, in my opinion.
It is
where
very monarchy. It's like
a
off
royal-
with his head, but not with his.
Yeah.
because
You know?
I'm fucking his brother's cousin. Like what?
Yeah, like no, I'm gonna fuck that criminal. Hey,
I mean,
kill everybody else.
Of course, when you think about it, like there's probably
We should write a drama.
people who have been pardoned who were actually innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like this guy wasn't, and he was convicted by his peers, by a jury of his peers, right? And he should do his time. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg
But-
Abbott sucks, and I feel like what you said a second ago is just like a lot of Texas government is setting a bad precedent for
Yeah.
future
Oh, are
government.
they? Texas. Here, I'm gonna segue for you.
Texas
No,
government-
are they?
Texas Senate passes bill to put the 10 Commandments in every
Oh,
classroom.
fuck off.
I don't even know one.
Well, Albert and I had a great.
What?
We were talking about this the other night. I don't remember because we were drinking, but we were saying like this is probably the Republican plan to stop school shootings because now there'll be a thing there that says "Thou shalt not kill," right?
Right.
So the next time a gunman, comes in with all of his AK-47 or
He'll look at the
AR-15 or
board
whatever,
and be
he'll
like,
can't.
Damn, I forgot about that one.
Damn it.
Because I gotta go back.
Yeah.
Go back.
I mean,
You think God is gonna stop them? They already think God is telling them to do it.
yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
gonna walk in the room, be like, oh wait, thou shalt not kill.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well let me put my gun down and pray.
Also, can we just go ahead and for once and for all just say that the 10 Commandments sucks? It's really not even the best.
It's
I know,
not
and I know
even-
this is
that's
probably
true.
someone else's bit. That's I've heard comedians do this, but it sucks, dude.
It does. There's thou shalt not kill. Honor. I'm reading this right now. Honor thy father and mother. I'm a stand-up comedian.
Mm-hmm.
How am I to honor them?
Mhm.
You know, they're confused and sad.
And there's redundancy. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house or wife. I mean that.
Because it was that big of an issue. They wanted
Yeah.
to fuck everybody all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
yeah, I mean, I think the
Also,
the-
thou shalt not steal your.
How come
dude's
there's
wife.
thou shalt not?
How about be gay?
How come there's
Solve that
thou
problem.
shalt not rape in here? You know what I mean? It's like okay, you can rape, just not your neighbor's wife.
Well, absolutely. That would be
Also,
insane.
I really I'm a little bit of a hippie, and I very much believe in positive affirmations. And to me, it's so strange that the way it's just. I know this is maybe I'm stepping too hard, but it's so strange especially when you're talking to children. Children don't understand qualifying statements.
Not at all.
So when you say "thou shalt not kill," the only thing a child at that point in their developmental progress and journey can understand, they hear thou kill, I kill. They hear the kill. They don't hear the not. And so
Right.
to me, if you really want to, if you really want to peddle your 10 Commandments, rebrand them.
Yeah.
Rebrand them to where children can actually understand them. Say, we will
100%.
prosper life. We will not do that, blah, blah, blah. Because
How about no? How about no religion in classrooms?
no, and so
because
that's where I was
separation
acting,
of church
and
and
that's
state.
ultimate-
what
but
I was
even-
going to say. That's
Yeah.
a bigger thing. Is you just need to say, I don't want to do the under one nation
Oh, I don't
under
like
God.
that
I
either.
don't want to have the 10
But
Commandments.
even if bigger religions, if they don't, a lot of Christian-based faiths do not operate under God's love. They operate under God's fear.
Sure.
So that's why they're telling you thou shalt not
Capitalism.
kill.
Yeah.
Because that makes them
The fire and brimstone gospel.
There's
yeah.
literally a through line, and
Yeah.
we
Well, it's
don't need to go through the
manipulation.
middle, but it is. It takes you from scared to money
Yeah.
for the church. That's what it does.
Yeah.
Well, and then
Yes.
but look, we're supposed to have secularism in this country. We're supposed to have separation of church and state.
Absolutely.
Right? These people always go, oh, the founding fathers. First off, that was 300 motherfucking years ago, right? And shit should get better. We shouldn't keep doing the same old tired bullshit we've been doing for 300 years.
Yeah,
but
that's-
even they had enough sense 300 years ago to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy as fuck to me that people are reverting to things pre that. You know
well,
what I mean?
we talked about. I mean, I've already said this. This is all just a way to, not talk about real issues in the Senate and talk about.
You're right.
100%.
This
It's
is
wasting
what all.
time.
That's all it is. It's a big waste of time.
It is a big waste of time because they don't want to
Because
implement.
how the fuck is this gonna help anybody?
It's not. They don't want
nothing.
to
Literally
implement
fucking nothing.
Well,
any
actually,
solution.
This has nothing to do
It's
with.
going to alienate
Albert,
the
I
other
want-
children
I
in the
want to
school.
get your opinion on this, Albert, and then we can throw it around. You have beef with, here you go, some delicious Milam Greene rye whiskey. You have beef with the Texas public school system, right? And in a way, what Republicans continually keep doing is making it shittier, to where
course.
people are like, you can't keep your kids safe there. They're going to shoot it up. They're putting more religion into it. They're doing that. You can't let your kids learn about LGBTQ stuff because they're stopping that, right? So they're making the school system shittier and shittier. Like they just took over the fucking HISD that like the state did, right?
Yeah.
And so people go, fuck that. I'm going to pull my kids out of school and put them into privatized, which is their whole motherfucking plan in the first place because they hate the government and they hate the government running shit. They want everything to be fucking run by private entities and corporations.
Well, we're putting on
That's a little bit
homeschooling
of-
my kid, but I mean, what
Well, I'm
are
just
you
saying, like,
asking
It's a
me?
little up and down.
I'm saying,
Only
like,
because
do you see?
privatized-
You're a conspiracy guy, and I'm saying, do you
No, that's
see
what
a
I'm saying. I
conspiracy
see the
here
conspiracy
of them
theory.
trying to fuck up the public school system to where people are like, I'll just go to private school, my kids.
I don't know.
I get that.
I don't want to put my kid in. If I could, in a perfect world, he's not gonna have to go into any fucking school because if I drop my kid off at a private or a public school, it doesn't really matter. He can still get fucking murdered.
Yeah.
He can still get fucking sexually harassed by a teacher. Like, why? What is it? To me, it's all the same shit. I don't want to drop him off anywhere.
Right.
If it's up to me, though.
I think statistically some are safer than others.
I think, well, honestly, what you're saying, if you're going to lead in conspiracy, taking kids out of school, I think it's more legitimate conspiracy of leading back towards segregation. And at this time, not necessarily a segregation.
Who can afford the private school?
No, I'm not even talking about private school. Most people who I know who are afraid of their children going to any kind of school have taken their kids home and have done an online situation. And there are plenty of like Texas programs that will actually give like low-income families laptops for it and internet and yada yada yada.
Actually, public schools do it too.
And public schools do it too. And so one of the and so in my opinion, it seems like that the people who are making the decision, if we are going down this conspiracy theory, is a white Republican people who are trying to make public schools white Republican safe places. So we're the only people that can go
So
there
that the
are
government-funded
rich
money
white
is
people.
only
So
going
that's a
towards
shorter
the people that
conspiracy.
they want to.
I mean, to
That
me,
makes more sense.
To me, you could.
I get what you're saying.
They're going
but
back to segregation.
In
of
my
class
opinion,
by this point.
none of this matters. If you could put the Bible, you could put Bible verses all over the damn building. It's not going to stop a psycho from walking in and shooting people. So to me,
But it can make someone like me not want to send my kids there
only-
because I don't like that.
no.
And it
Right.
could make the brown kids not feel fucking safe.
I mean,
there.
honestly,
Yeah.
when I hear about shit like this, I could give two fucks. But if I heard that they were about to fund every single school in America with high security and it was going to actually be properly like taken care of to make someone not want to shoot
Well, it all-
up, that would be interesting to me. But it's like this is like, of course they want to. Hey, you know what we should do? We should read the Bible. Like, who gives a fuck? They're
No,
not
you're
gonna do
100%
anything
correct.
for anybody.
It's a distraction from
It's
the
a
real
distraction,
issue.
dude.
Why?
Because now they want to teach the Bible in school. They want to give teachers guns. They have like moving classrooms
Give
that
the
have like
kids
extra
guns,
built
you know what I'm
doors.
saying?
The kids already have guns. The kids have
That's
been
the
having
problem.
guns. That's the issue. And so
Give the guns.
give the
Thought about
guns
that
guns.
yet?
They want to give they want to come up with all of these bullshit. My mother's a teacher.
Yeah.
I've grown up in a
I bet
house.
she doesn't want to take a gun to school.
Absolutely
My-
not.
yeah,
And
my
she
mom-
doesn't.
yeah.
She also doesn't want her kids to die
Yeah.
in her classroom. And like the biggest issue that we're facing
Sure,
is
she doesn't want the 10 Commandments in there either.
absolutely not. Because she wants all of her students to feel welcome.
Yeah.
It's a simple matter of we were basically on track. You guys can feel free to correct me. I know everybody in charge does something different. I felt like Obama was doing pretty decent. Could we have done without some of the bombings, specifically to like my cousins? Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have done
Yeah.
without that.
Little bit of
Family
that.
reunions got a little weird.
Yeah.
But we were kind of on our way. Like we had first black president. Like I felt like as somebody who was in elementary school at the time, like let's quantify it that way. Like I was in elementary school and I was thinking like, wow, I'm learning all of these horrible things.
But it seems like we're making some
But
progress.
it feels
Yeah,
like
I
we're
remember
making
that.
progress. We're doing something, and everybody's going to be accepted, and gay marriage is legal, and that's what I grew up with. That's what I know. And now I'm an adult, and I'm like, what the fuck?
We went too far.
Like
You know what I mean?
we had one bad president who sucks fucking
We've
cock
had a
and
lot of
balls
bad
and dick.
presidents,
Like the
yes.
whole thing.
Since we've been conscious.
Like, yeah, it's like right when I was getting out of high school, we had like the worst president probably since like Andrew Jackson, you know.
I was in high school still because I failed at grade when Trump got elected,
Yeah, me
and
too.
I was at
God, we're old.
and I was at an arts high school, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of like imagine the general attitude and political
Oh,
leaning
yeah.
of everybody, and
It's bad.
Yeah, I was
it's a bad
bartending
day.
that night. Nobody tipped me.
no, yeah,
People were like, what did he
Motherfucker.
say?
They're like,
It's
fuck
funny.
this
Still
white
tip your
dude.
bartender, okay?
Even if he is a white man.
Yeah.
But it was such a surreal moment because I kind of did feel that for such a long time as a kid, like, oh, but there's this hope. And I remember the first time I voted in a presidential election, I voted for a female candidate, and
Right.
that was felt. You know,
I'm sure that felt
unheard
actually
of.
pretty
I felt
cool.
so cool.
That
Yeah.
I went with my mom and did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like it felt
Yeah.
so important, and for the next day to feel so terrible.
No.
No one stood up for the pledge the next day
Yeah.
in my entire school, except for
Yeah.
Well, first off, like
One
fuck
girl.
The pledge. I mean,
Fuck
back to
the
the Ten
pledge.
Commandments. I don't like the pledge. The pledge is
Yeah,
fucked
the
up
pledge
too.
is enough. The pledge is
It's
is
already
more
it's
than
already
enough.
breaking secularism and the separation of church and state, and it's also
and it's
this-
detrimental to children's
it's
like brains.
Yeah.
Also,
Also-
this horrible
Yeah.
nationalist thing where it's just like programming you to be a good little Nazi.
Are we
almost,
Russia
you know what I mean?
now?
100%. And we think that we're better than everybody, and we're not. I think it's important actually for Americans, like, to seek media that is not in America, because you will realize, like, countries like Australia have the United States under like when they advise their citizens on traveling here, we are under like a terrorism
I saw that
advisory.
TikTok, bro,
Yes!
and I was like,
Well,
yeah.
we've got to wrap this up.
We
I
can-
think
yeah.
we can say that the education system is definitely going through some issues right now. I mean, teachers don't seem to have control over what they can teach in their own classrooms, and that
Yeah.
fucking blows. You know what I mean?
They've never really had like super control, but they've definitely had
Yeah.
more
It's
creative
never
freedom.
been good.
Yeah.
Well, now they're getting in trouble.
The
I-
school
well,
system's
now too,
never
like,
been
teachers are
good.
losing their
But
jobs, or teachers are quitting because they're like,
Of course they're quitting
Yeah,
because
this
it
is gonna be an
sucks.
issue because there's not gonna be any fucking teachers in like 3 years.
Yeah.
I promise y'all.
It's weird. I feel like I got a good education for a public education, so.
I feel like I did too, but also too, I think about
I don't.
my brother's still in high school right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's the scariest thing ever.
I
Like,
know. When my brother was in high school too, still like there
I,
was
like,
people who
can't
had
wait.
that had brought
We
guns
had-
to school.
we had
that
an
were
active
literally,
shooter
really
on
I
my
cannot
campus
wait because
when I
my
was
mother
there.
teaches in a high
You know?
school. My brother
There you
goes.
go.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound too
Out.
safe to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna move off of schools. Well, not really. So we're still gonna go back into some government corruption here. All right, but it does have to do with schools. So in North Dakota, their state senate, has voted to. Has voted to expand free meals for its members, but not for kids. So recently,
Wait. What?
So recently in North Dakota, the Senate has passed a bill to give its members more free food
Oh, I did.
after
read this.
killing a proposal to boost free lunches for the hungry school kids. On Thursday, a GOP-led chamber voted 26 to 21 to let state employees collect up to $45 a day to pay for meals, which is a lot of money for meals. You know what I mean? Honestly,
Yeah.
per day.
$45.
Yeah.
That's like sugar daddy status.
Yeah.
a little bit.
I don't really be dropping $45.
My boyfriend don't even do that.
Except
for me.
maybe like once a week on a very fancy meal, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what they're getting a day, which is raising it from 35. So they then they get themselves a $10 raise per day, which would cost the taxpayer $1 million more money over the next 2 years. Okay, but less
So
than
motherfucking eat Chipotle?
but less than 2 weeks prior to that, the Senate rejected a bill that would have allocated $6 million over the next 2 years to give students K through 12 living at or below 200% of the federal poverty level the free meals. So basically, it's right now it's set at there's a free meal program that only allows for people at 130% of the poverty level are provided for. They were going to expand that by 70%.
Yeah. Which,
And they
by the
killed
way,
it.
is like a lot of people. Like, as a single person
Mm-hmm.
who files their taxes and sees the percentage that I live below the poverty level,
Preach, accountant.
there are so many more people that have so many more responsibilities than I do
Mm-hmm.
that make so much less money than I do. For this to fucking fail,
Mhm.
like it said, Timely and I read, failed by a single vote
Mm-hmm.
So which part failed by the single vote?
I think
to instate it.
all the Democrats voted for it, but not enough Republicans did. To give kids who are at the
The
poverty
kids
line
that they
free,
care about, the
free
kids,
lunch.
the same kids. No, for real, the exact same kids that they're like, don't abort them.
Well,
Right.
That's a
you know,
life.
That's alive.
The-
But they
I
can be
promise
they can
you.
be a little hungry. You know.
You know, it's good for you.
As long as,
Fuck
no,
that.
for real. It's like,
They're
hey,
getting a little too fat.
can I have all of my taxpayers give me like just $1 million so I can eat fucking Chipotle every day? Like,
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Especially too when like
You're a
votes
grown
like this
man.
fail.
You have a job. Children
Yes.
don't have jobs. That's the
Yeah,
other
they
thing.
get paid
Children
pretty well.
don't have jobs. They
And they're
need
getting
to
free
go
lunch.
to school.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They do get free lunch. They get paid really well, and they just, you know, they get to willy-nilly. Oh, this vote fails.
Real quick, like
Nothing about you.
one of the things that working in public schools this past year, I worked at a couple underfunded public schools,
Mhm.
and a very big behavioral notice we experienced from years before COVID and after were a lot of food-based like neuroses and anxiety. Never ever have my teacher friends had so many kids who were so food anxious.
I had kids in food therapy.
and food,
So many
yeah,
kids in food
and
therapy.
because they either like they weren't getting enough at home, so they didn't eat when they
That's
were
a
at
big
school,
thing, is
and
that
they weren't
these
getting
kids
enough at home, and so
eat
they
at
eat
school.
They do.
everything.
You don't know
I
what they're gonna get at
sometimes
home.
that's
I have
the
kids
only
asking
place.
for
Yeah.
food every day when
Exactly.
I go
Yeah.
in, and so it's even as
God
I'm
damn,
a
that's
part-time teacher, and I have kids that
We did
They
like
asked me
similar
for
stuff.
food.
You were a teacher. I was a therapist.
Yes, yeah.
I would so often I get kids like that I'm caring for, giving therapy to that do not have a proper family. They are they are only my client for however long because they are just in whatever housing situation that they're in. And a lot of my kiddos, and I work specifically with neurodivergent kids, so we're battling, you know, autism, ADHD,
Sure.
OCD, all of that.
Mhm.
It manifests itself in mealtime. Sometimes
Yeah.
the clinic where I worked was the only place that they felt safe eating. Sometimes they would feel like they couldn't eat there at all, and especially when you add in sensory issues, yeah, like they don't want to eat this, they don't want to eat whatever
There's
because
one.
it's different to them, and there's a whole
And then we already know, you know, that's the tip of the iceberg,
literally
right?
is.
Because
It is.
then you have like maybe that they're getting issues for being made fun of for being poor. There's bullying, you know what I mean? There's
Absolutely.
issues with them resenting it themselves.
Also,
as they
too,
become
North
conscious of
Dakota,
that,
can you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't North Dakota a kind of expensive place to live?
I don't know. One way,
I feel like
one way
whenever
or
I
the
think of
other.
like Montana, Wyoming, like mountains.
Probably,
nice.
yeah.
I
Like,
do-
think-
I-
think of,
Any
like,
place that's pretty is
I think-
expensive.
I think of like billionaires
I'm
and
not
dude
sure.
ranches
Anything that's
and-
pretty is they
I'm
make
not
sure
sure.
to price it
You
up.
want to look at
Um,
nice things?
They can't. That's how it is.
My
So that's the other
my
thing.
gut instinct tells me that it's about, you know, it's pretty, but it's probably not the most expensive. And South Dakota, I for some reason have this gut instinct saying that it's much poorer.
Right.
Is it not?
I only know about South Carolina, but I'm lumping the two together.
Yeah. See, that's
Well-
the other thing. When I think of like those
Waldo
like
knows.
top.
Does Waldo know? We're
No.
checking with our producer. No idea.
South Dakota, rich.
South Dakota rich?
North Dakota,
Poor?
a fucking desert of snow.
Okay.
Like 90%.
I was got it backwards.
People live in like
Little
this
shacks.
much of a giant state.
Mm.
Because the terrain is
Because
so
it
rough.
borders.
Can't go nowhere else.
Wait,
So
where's,
this
where's
is
South-
even
I
more
don't know much
stupid.
geography. I'm feeling real stupid right now.
North Dakota's.
We're gonna cut this.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like.
Sorry to bring it up,
those
but-
rich-ass
Hold on,
North
I want to
Dakotans.
get to the next thing
All right, let's go do it. Let's go to the next one.
because it's
Now let's go.
I chose it.
There we go.
I want to talk about it.
North Dakota is
Abbey.
so.
That's true. I knew that majority of North Dakota was not populated.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody from North Dakota.
Like, it's,
I've never
it's
met
like a
anybody from
military
Okay.
base.
So
Yeah, it's on
this is what
Canada.
we're talking about there.
On
I
the border, I
found
thought
it.
it was. All right, anyway.
I saw
Fuck
this on
yeah,
the
I knew what I'm
Okay.
talking about, ish.
I saw it up there.
All right.
I was like, fuck South Dakota. But
All right. Well, this is kind of gonna we're gonna segue away from the greed of like government into the greed of private corporations.
Hell
Excellent.
yeah.
Right, which
we
is-
can't win.
Yeah.
Against
Anyway,
actors,
life.
I might add.
Yeah.
Against actors.
Yeah. So some people may be unaware, but there's been a strife been going on in California at the medieval times, and I believe there's still no resolution for this. I'm going to check that to make sure as of today.
As of today.
I imagine there wouldn't be. I mean, why would there?
They
be,
haven't
right?
made
So what happened?
any. Okay, so what? Can I say it?
Yeah, you can go for it. Yeah.
What happened was in November or December of last year, a bunch of medieval times and in California, they unionized and they started they started a strike because they were getting poor working conditions and
Medieval
pay.
Times is the
yeah.
restaurant and combination Ren Fest entertainment place,
Yep,
right?
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Where they have the jousting and in the middle and you
The
can
food
eat
is
around
the food
it.
is themed with it. It's
Okay.
it's very
So these
expensive if
people
you've
are
ever
like
been.
servers, hostess, dishwashers,
It's
line
a-
cooks,
it's a
bartenders,
big-
and entertainers.
It's a big production.
Yeah.
So you have waitresses, everybody's in costume
Okay.
from the get go. It's all themed. Like
So
you
you're
said,
all
really-
entertainers, but you
So-
might also be serving. in
Yeah, even if you're a
restaurants.
bartender or whatever, you're speaking
Yeah, you're
in
still-
the just like
Okay.
at Ren Fair. You
From
know?
my
Okay.
understanding, though, the people on strike, I think there are some waiters, bartenders, like whoever was their buddies,
Most
but
of
the
the
main
actors and
people
stuff,
who
yeah.
started were
But
the
it's
actors
Mostly the actors in the jousting.
in the jousting
Okay.
because they were working conditions,
I think-
payment issues, and animal
Cruelty.
cruelty.
I believe
due
we're
to
about
the
3
horses.
months into the strike.
They were at 70 days when I found this
Yeah.
news article last week,
Uh-huh.
and they still haven't had a resolution. So a few things have happened, which I'm sure we'll talk about. I don't
Yeah.
know where you want to take it from.
Well, I've got this video if you want to see. This is
So is this when they got ran over?
Yeah, this is where
So these are the actors.
a patron is fed up with the picketers blocking entrance to the facilities. I don't know what's going on, but they just start. One
in
of
the
them
Mini
get-
Cooper,
Yeah.
just driving over.
One
yeah,
of
they
them
just started
gets out.
running over
Look.
them, yeah, and shoving.
Wow.
the audience.
One guy
What
gets
big
out
dick energy in your fucking Mini Cooper, bro?
in
Yeah.
San Bueno,
Oh,
wherever.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, I actually did a bunch of research on this.
Yeah.
Oh,
6 protesters got injured.
Injured.
One guy, the guy who got ran over, he fractured his pelvis.
oh
Um,
shit.
Medieval Times released a statement afterwards that says, please, on both sides of the picket line, be respectful, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So with that, I just want to be very
Well, that's
painstaking.
ironic,
Yeah, well,
but
I want to be,
Yeah.
no, it's a really insensitive thing for them to put out. But I want to be very, clear. They have they've been set up for 70 days. They've been extremely peaceful, and have been peaceful even after this. But it wasn't doing anything. The pressure wasn't enough, and so they've been gradually moving the picket line closer
Yeah.
and closer and closer
To the entrance.
to the entrance, and they've been allowing people to 2 or 3 cars go every 2 minutes. So this isn't and they've been working very closely with the actors and business administration that have helped unionize them to make sure they're doing it very kosher.
Uh-huh.
They have stopped Medieval Times from flying in Canadian actors to come in because they didn't have the right paperwork due to it being a federal strike.
That's the craziest
Yeah, due
shit.
to it being
Well,
a
they are
federal
union-
strike. And the only last thing I'm going to say
Yeah.
is the actor, or not the actor, but the sound technicians and the light technicians are meeting to unionize this week, and they're getting voted on.
Well, so it says that this particular one that's at strike at Buena Park, there's 10 medieval times in the United States.
Yeah, but this is the one I did a lot of research
Yeah.
on.
But they were unionized in November. It says.
No, that was the
They voted
the
to
actors.
unionize
Performers.
and
Yeah,
went to
so
strike
now
on
the actors
February
are
11th.
trying to get
Oh, okay.
another
it
team
says,
on.
yeah, the sound and lighting department are trying to join the union, I guess.
Yeah, and so they're voting on that this week to be legitimized or not.
Right. Again, This is why
It's crazy to me.
everybody should be unionized. I mean, I was.
But it's not crazy because this is a corporation that's fucking over its employees.
No. It's crazy to me that this is the only place that's doing it. Because this kind of thing, like we talked about in last episode, like you said, dude, like the only answer is to start fucking protesting, start making
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and so,
Yeah.
but I think the language used around
Well, I think
this-
every fucking body should be doing it.
No, I agree.
Everybody.
That's what I'm saying. And so
Yeah.
these people are, I think, setting a very, because one of the things in a lot of the articles I read about it is talking about how in this day and age, unionizing is almost extinct and striking and doing
Well,
these things that
even
are federal policies you don't hear about
Actors
anymore.
doing this is also incredible because the union that does exist for actors
Doesn't give a shit.
doesn't give a fuck about their actors. So
They-
calling out any unfair labor practice and calling for unionizing over any type of entertainer, completely valid. Like, I've heard of people trying to go on strike against SAG. There was the writer's strike in the early 2000s. Like, it's effective and it makes change.
I personally like,
happen.
and you know this. I mean, like I've worked in retail most of my life, and if not retail, some sort of customer service. So I mean, that's why I always come off the most like bitter and angriest because I don't work. I've literally done not much else. Like one of my last jobs I worked at was at CVS, and I worked at Dave & Buster's.
Right.
And if you want to really feel what it feels like to be fucked,
No,
Yeah.
don't go work. I mean, obviously, go. You know, if you go get a nursing degree or whatever, then great. You're a nurse and you're gonna make good money and you're gonna work your ass off, but you're gonna make a living. The problem that we have in this country is that we don't realize that the people that are working at Walgreens, CVS, Toys R
They
Us,
deserve to make a
whatever
living.
the fuck, McDonald's, the Old Navy, it doesn't fucking
The gas
matter.
station, bro.
The
They deserve
gas
to go on
station.
vacation.
The motherfucker working at the smoke
Well,
shop.
everybody deserves dignity.
Everybody needs to fucking make a living.
Absolutely.
If I'm
Well, that's
talking,
dignity.
Exactly, but we don't have none of that.
Right.
So, but it may take everybody to go on strike.
Well, that's
Well,
what
that's
the
the
reason-
other thing. It's
Just
like,
because, well, I'm living it up. I'm getting paid good.
Well,
But
you can call it
when
all
you
the
go
way
to
back.
Starbucks, when you go to McDonald's,
Yep.
when you go to fucking here, they're getting fucked.
Tip
Yeah.
everybody.
You go and right, but I don't. But some people don't have money to tip them. The point is, I'm not supposed to be paying
You shouldn't be
Starbucks
living
employees.
off of
No,
tips.
It's not my
Yeah,
responsibility.
no, it's not. You're
It's
not.
the billionaire's responsibility. Why the fuck do I shouldn't have to feel like
You
fuck? I
should be
gotta give
making
this motherfucker all this money.
35 an
You
hour
know?
to make me
Exactly.
coffee.
Well,
If I make 35 an hour working at CVS and I can tip
Yeah.
my Starbucks person $10
The tip system.
because I'm
Or-
balling.
Well, the-
or your barista's making 35 an
The
hour.
point is, if we're all balling, we're all gonna be tipping. But if we're
No,
not all
but-
balling,
Or we don't need
ain't
to
no
tip.
one
But we don't
tipping.
need, we don't need the
yeah,
tip
if
system.
we're all balling,
The
we
tip-
don't need to be tipping.
But no one's balling except for certain people right
So
now.
just so y'all know, the tip system actually goes. A lot of that goes back to the days of prohibition, right?
And
Yeah,
slave
no, I
labor.
and where people couldn't be
Yeah.
paid correct
Yeah.
amount of labor because
And
they were
slave
working
labor,
in
yeah.
speakeasies and shit, right? And they're under the
Right.
they're getting paid under
Paid
the
under
fucking
the table.
under
It's the
table.
most ridiculous shit.
In most countries, it's already been done away with, right?
Yeah.
No, the companies are paying people a more decent hourly wage, or right? But a lot of that also goes back to the strength of unions in a lot of these countries, right?
extreme.
So it
Well,
is.
also,
It is.
too,
It
it's
is.
also about like
Yeah.
these countries value their human life.
In
Just
France
a
right
little
now,
bit more.
in France right now, they are fucking shit up.
They are fucking shit up.
And
But
it's gonna
everything-
happen here.
Even if it's like,
But you need
when we
solidarity.
care about our humans, it's also just a better look. Like when you kind of come from time, like whenever something originated from
Yeah.
slave labor and illegally like putting people through a bunch of bullshit, like you shouldn't keep that practice.
Yeah,
like,
no.
and,
No, it's a chipping
And
is
like
a
America-
America does have like a weird thing.
But
with
until it's
tradition.
gone, we rely
Yeah.
on it. But it is a horrible thing to pass that price
I
along
just-
to
yeah.
I wanted to bring this
Patron,
up because I just want to
you know.
say, Booze and News totally fucking supports y'all and your strike and keep going because they are at 70 days and they have had no resolve. And I
80
really,
or 90 now,
I
I
would,
think.
yeah, not probably 80
Yeah.
now. And so I would hate to see it just get squandered.
No,
I
it's
wish
not
there
for
was something I
nothing.
could like do
No.
to help because y'all are not only.
I didn't even think strikes like this could happen really in this day and age, like in such a small.
No, they're going to
but-
happen more and
But
more
also
and
to
more,
a
yeah.
hospitality, to a
Right.
restaurant mogul. That
Well, to
seemed
a
Buffalo
hospitality-
Wild Wings. Like we could have done
Exactly.
that. Like you know what I mean?
Bitch, if I could have unionized
If I
back
could
then.
have unionized Buffalo Wild Wings, and
But
so
they should.
take
But
that
you should.
inspiration.
That's the
should be able
solidarity.
to.
And the thing that it is, and I've talked to a lot of people about this.
I just
like-
want people to
like
know
in-
about
in
this, so we
specific-
can do it too.
Timely in specific. Recently, I was talking to more and more actors, and so there are actors that have equity and are talking like,
Yeah.
and we were talking
Yeah.
about their union based, and a lot of people were like, "Look, I don't want to. I'm scared about paying the dues. I don't.
Well,
I want to get
dues
cast.
are like
and they're like, I want to get
$4,000.
cast in things, and I don't want to not get cast because
Because I'm an
because
equity.
I'm
Once you're in the
equity or
union,
whatever.
you can't accept non-union work. It is an attack on actors and their creativity. I'm so upset about it because
but Abby,
I want to be in that union.
But,
I want to be in
but
that
Abby,
union.
I'll give you this.
I-
What do they do
I-
when everybody does it? See, the thing is if people took the solidarity and all
We start
and all
striking
played into
all
it,
against
decided
union.
we're not
then
paying
we
our
all
dues.
decided
Yeah.
you're
Strike
going to
against
hire a
the
union
union.
worker or you're not going to have anybody.
Real
You're going to go
quick,
get someone off
the
the street.
only-
Well, that's the issue, is that it's going to take everybody,
That's
and,
right.
and the people on top of it are like, they're not going to get everyone to do it.
That's right.
They're going to be people that are like, I don't give a fuck how much I get paid because I live with my parents or I do this, so I'll fucking do it for fun or whatever
Right,
the fuck.
right.
So you're always going to have those people that are like, I don't give
Well,
a fuck.
especially in entertainment, not specifically hospitality, but in entertainment, there's always going to be that one motherfucker
course.
that's like,
I'll do it.
I just moved here from Minnesota,
And they
you know,
suck.
I'm trying to make it in Hollywood. Fuck you.
I just want to say real quick before I move on from unions.
Yeah.
The only union I really fucking hate, and they can suck my dick.
Police union?
Well, yeah.
They're the most powerful
Hold
one
on.
in the world.
Okay, maybe
Yep.
there's two. The police union and the umpire union from the MLB. Fuck the umpire
Fuck the
union.
entire MLB, honestly. Like,
Yeah, no.
Wait, what's it to you on the
No!
MLB?
Don't fuck the entire MLB. I'm a part of this.
Wait,
I
but
was,
like,
I
what's it to you on the MLB? Like the pitch clock thing?
So no, that's just a whole other thing.
We
Umpires
don't have time to go into that.
yeah,
We
we don't
got
have a.
time to
Well,
go
I'll
into
tell you later.
We got about 20 minutes. We got about 20 minutes before we lose Abby. So
Before
let's
we
roll
lose
through
Abby.
these.
Yeah, sure.
Our next topic we're going to talk about. We're going to go ahead and I guess
I took them to
this
a
is
baseball
kind of
game.
a segue from the. This is kind of going to be two
Oh,
things
this
that we
made me
talked about
sad.
earlier. So we talked about the robot police cops, and we
This.
just talked about the striking workers.
I saw
So
this.
there is a viral video that has been going around about. This is from the Roomba company. It was the iRobot Roomba 760 robot, and there was a video of it that went viral on TikTok where it was carrying boxes back and forth, just like from one point to another for 15 minutes
Right.
before the robot just spontaneously collapsed on the ground, right? And a lot of people were saying that, you know, hey, you guess what? You give a fucking robot a job that it's going to tirelessly do with no reward for the rest of its life, and it's just going to commit suicide, right?
Yeah.
But we really don't know the exact reason. The battery could have died. There could have been technical issues or malfunction. But I do think that this does broach what we were just talking about. One, these are shitty jobs. And two, they're coming for our shitty jobs with robots. I'm going to open it up
These
now to y'all.
robots keep killing themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Like, go to therapy, robot. No,
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. Don't.
No, I was waiting for you to be like, no, this is a great example of. I remember when I got hired at the telemarketing place
No.
that I.
Did you want to kill yourself within
Well,
15 minutes?
He
Because-
literally used the word robotic. He's like, this job is gonna feel very robotic,
Yeah.
and you could and so I've had this conversation with people before, and it's like
If you need 5 minutes, you can go outside and smoke a cigarette.
Right.
people that run
Kill
business, people that run
Off the
business.
clock.
So when you think of telemarketing, it might sound like you're sitting on your ass and you're just on your phone all day long. That's not what you're doing. It's all the work and the sweat is in the brain.
This isn't the work.
It's
this
not
is the work.
physically. So
Sitting there and doing.
so it's like literally like you want to go to your boss and be like, you have to pay me more because first off, you're not doing what we're doing.
Right. You're sitting.
You
behind
have
a
no
desk.
idea what it feels like to be doing what we're doing, and it is robotic and it feels unhuman.
And it does. That's what I was
And
about
I'm
to say.
going
It doesn't feel
to
human.
lose my mind.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's a hard job. Therefore, if it's a hard job, and
You should be incentivized.
I should be paid
as such.
well.
I agree. Yes, 100%.
But a
Bottom
lot
line,
of these
the
jobs
bare
are.
minimum-
But they just look at the big picture. Well, you're just sitting on your ass. So it's like, yeah, but you don't know what's going on inside of my head. I want to kill myself.
Right,
So what the
exactly.
fuck is wrong with you?
And here, how about this? What's crazy to me is when they go, all right, well, we're just going to go ahead and outsource your job then to India. And then every fucking racist motherfucker goes, I hate talking to all these people. And it's like, look, people in America don't want this job because there's no dignity in it, and the
Right.
pay's fucked. You know what I mean? And it's a shitty
No, you're
job.
correct. Like catering to like old white people's thoughts of like, oh, like they never understand me on the phone. Like we all have that grandparent, aunt, uncle, parent, whoever. You know, like oh, they can't understand me, whatever. Our own country does not give a shit
Yeah,
about us, and neither does theirs, and that's why we're outsourcing this labor.
that's right.
I mean, okay, so like if we're talking about, I don't know actually what this says. Who says maybe their battery died or whatnot? But there is a sort of.
It's a stretch, I believe, to believe that it just committed suicide. You know what I mean?
The
Yes,
committed
but hold
suicide
on.
thing is interesting.
But if you look at that robot that's like was a fucking meme, we talked about this for not a meme but viral that had like that liquid leaking from it, and its whole job was to pour it
Oh,
back.
that art installation.
Yeah, art installation
Oof,
robot.
yeah.
Because even, dude, we're people. We're gonna create AI that kind of mirrors our nature. And so when you see these certain things literally struggle with the things we do, I don't think it's necessarily like, oh my god, this explains our life. No, we're creating something that explains our struggle.
Yeah.
And I want to just
yeah.
say real quick. So Roomba made this, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all watch Parks and Rec as much as I do.
Mhm.
Yes.
But do y'all remember Tom Haverford's DJ Roomba that he
Yes.
made where he sticks his iPod on the Roomba?
On the Roomba to
That
film.
Roomba would never kill itself. It is a DJ.
So I have a couple of thoughts on this, and then you want to go first?
Yeah, I want to say to you.
Yeah.
You think because it came off TikTok, it's like a.
What do you mean
They're gonna get into a fight. Y'all
No,
are gonna
John.
get into a TikTok
John
fight.
thinks anything that comes off TikTok,
Y'all
which
are
is
gonna
really.
get into a
No,
TikTok fight.
No.
Before you continue, it's entirely plausible that this robot's battery died.
Yeah.
But it's also entirely possible that this robot's battery died because it was so bored and wasted its energy on the
This
task.
is what I think
I
happened.
do
I
think
think the
AI
robot.
is there.
I think the robot found itself within its technology
Uh-huh.
in a state of
Boredom.
panic,
Panic.
anxiety,
We kill ourselves in panic. Not boredom.
anxiety.
Yeah, we kill ourselves.
Think
in
about
panic,
it.
not
When
boredom.
you're at work and we're as humans and we're at work and we're having a panic attack, we might
Get some therapy
take a
sessions.
break. If we're at work and we're having a panic attack, most of us are going to go to the bathroom, go outside.
Smoke a cigarette.
We're going to do something like that. This to me is a prime example of what this robot did. It doesn't know how to go outside and take a break.
That's fair.
It just
To
shuts
me, this
off.
is an
Just shuts
example.
off.
It was like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm shutting off.
Goodbye.
Exactly. It is. You're
So
not
you
gonna
bring
tell
up a
me,
strong
dude.
point.
The robot was designed to work longer than fucking 15 minutes. So obviously something happened in its fucking.
In its programming where it
Yes.
was like, this is not what I
But
was
this
designed
happens to
do.
humans all the
Alright.
time.
Yes.
Before we
So
go,
That's what this
Alright.
is expressing. This
This-
happens to us all the time, but we don't get to kill ourselves off. We have to keep going.
But some people
And
do.
that's why this shit is fucked up.
No,
What
it's
do you
totally
think,
fine.
Jonathan?
Some
You
people
think
do.
you think the
But
But
battery
some
died
people
out
do.
dismisses all of this? Just so
But
you
listen,
know.
hear me out. Because we're saying the same thing. I agree with you.
Well, he's saying the battery dies out, so it dismisses
well, no,
the whole
the battery
the
dies,
whole theory
it's
behind
not
it.
shuts off, it short
The
circuits.
battery dies out, then it means nothing, Jonathan.
No,
Let's not have it go
no,
on.
but listen. So this does happen to humans, and there are people that do work jobs like this shit on factories, Amazon warehouses, whatever, and they do kill themselves. They kill themselves literally, or through substance abuse,
Sure.
or through
Right.
shitty wages, living below the poverty line. There are
Depression.
people who are unhoused, depression. So yeah, but where our society and our government is failing us is with a giant emphasis on mental health. And we've been talking about this essentially this entire episode. If people felt more seen, more heard, safer, and accepted on the most basic level. Like, we're not talking about anything insane. We're talking about our schools, our communities. We aren't saying anything that's crazy. Our police force, you know? this robot
No.
dying from whatever cause in 15 minutes proves your point further.
Yeah.
Can I say something real
And
quick?
if you
Sure.
say that it's doing this because its battery died, dismisses all of this.
It's very offhand, but about robots.
Yeah.
I saw
You're
that.
dismissing the whole ideology.
And I'm going to, but I'm going to wait. You go for it.
Okay, just very quickly. We're scared robots are going to take our jobs. I saw the other day someone hired a robot. They they told the AI to try to make as much money as it possibly could, given a certain website selling thing. You know what I
Sure.
mean? What do we enact every time we buy something? A CAPTCHA. And so the
AI hired somebody on Fiverr?
Yes,
I
the
saw this
AI
story, yeah.
actually hired a human being,
Fiverr.
Hired a freelancer.
a
On Fiverr
freelancer to read the
CAPTCHA
CAPTCHAs.
for it.
So
it
pay
lied
them.
actually because the person asked. I saw that story.
Yes,
the person
and it
asked him,
lied
"Are
to
you
it."
are you a computer?"
The guy that the AI hired asked if the AI was an AI.
And the AI lied and said no. Yeah.
Fucking coming for you, bro. But they're still gonna hire us, so
Now-
we're cool.
Hey, that means freelancers got jobs.
Yeah, we got AI's
We're
going.
good.
I can read a cat. Actually, I'm really
I
bad.
can read-
I'm really bad at reading.
I can't
CAPTCHAs.
do that. I can do other things.
Wait, you want to say something?
All right. So my thoughts on this are basically that it is a big stretch to believe that this thing is so self-aware that we are now concerned about the depression of a robot.
Sure.
When I believe that is a very large stretch from where we're at technologically.
That's not what drunk Jonathan said the other day.
I don't. Well, I mean, I wish that robots could know the realm, like all of the emotions that human beings could know, and I would love to have a robot friend, But I really do believe that they are just tools that we use. It's just a fucking calculator, and it's just a computer, and it's just things we feed information into.
But that's
they aren't really
That's
self.
not the future, though.
No, but right now, where we're at right now,
But
I
you-
don't think that they're self-aware enough to have these complex kind
It's
of
not
emotions. Depression is complex.
No, this
Yeah.
isn't.
If you
I
wanna
said
talk to
overwhelmed.
someone-
No,
It is.
overwhelmed. A laptop
but
can
for-
literally get hot and stop working.
And you know what?
Happens all the
But
time.
Albert, that's what could have happened to this robot.
Okay.
Its battery could have shorted out. It could have got hot. It's a prototype.
That's what I'm saying, though.
What
But
the
that,
other
but a
can of
human
soda?
normally does that job.
No, but what I'm saying, and yes, and we're trying to invent new technology for the first time. It's innovation. I'm much more inclined to believe that they had made a shitty robot that couldn't work and do the job that you could do easily all day. It would suck, but they couldn't even make a good enough robot.
I think
to do
it's
that
a
in 15
metaphor for
minutes.
what humans go through. That's what I think it is.
Well,
The AI couldn't do it, but humans have to do it, and it's a shitty situation.
I think we're, but you see where I'm coming from? I think we're a long way from being replaced by these fucking robots. And I think that what my opinion is what happened is they made a shitty robot, and a lot of people are thinking.
About a long way. How long is long? Can you define that? I don't listen to your point.
So
6 inches.
I'm over.
Boston Dynamics,
I'm done.
right,
Right.
is the #1 robotic company as far as I know in
Absolutely.
the world.
Next
the ones
topic.
that did that robot dog, right? So this company, Roomba,
I go to the bathroom.
I've seen a Roomba.
I go to the bathroom.
Wait, one second, I'm almost done. Roomba has gone around my fucking house and got dog shit stuck to it, and then proceeded to
Just
smear
spread
dog
it
shit
everywhere.
all around my fucking house.
Okay,
How
that's a-
smart is that
that's
fucking
a
robot,
Roomba.
right?
Right,
Okay.
right.
Not only is it fucked up, its
Jonathan,
only job was to clean my house,
Can't
but
compare
instead,
that bullshit
Okay,
to this
okay,
thing.
but
okay.
now it's got dog shit on everything. Hey everybody, welcome back to Booze and News. We're here at the Rec Room with another great episode, and again, this episode has been brought to us by Milam Greene. We're enjoying their delicious straight rye whiskey, finished in a port wine cask. And cheers, everybody!
It
Cheers!
makes you smarter
Yeah.
And I'm glad you
It makes you smarter and richer.
and funnier.
and hotter.
Oh my
And,
god.
It makes your ass grow.
It makes you go viral.
Blair's gonna have an issue with this.
And makes your asshole tighter.
Don't say that.
Well,
Or
we're
your
about to get into gay beer.
Yeah, what the
so I feel
fuck
like
does
this is
that
a good segue. All right.
Raise your hand if you fisted a man's asshole.
Fisted?
Not Waldo raising his hand.
I do
Anyway,
not.
shout out.
That I do not. None of this is beyond the realm of
Timely and I are
possibility.
queer, okay? We've
Yeah.
fisted many of people's
So was
assholes.
Aldo now. Or Waldo. Aldo?
Yeah.
I just forgot the W
Thank you,
because you're.
Aldo sounds like an
Nothing else,
AI
Aldo's an
corporation.
Yeah.
I feel like
Aldo sounds like an AI.
I think we're-
Aldo.
I
Is like a
I think
place that
we're-
makes robots.
I think we're all allies, and that's why today we're drinking the gay beer of choice, Bud Light.
I've never like willingly drank this in my life.
Neither
But now
have
that
I.
Dylan is sponsoring
I'm
it,
a
I'm like,
craft beer snob, and today.
ugh.
Well, but I'm also an educated beer snob, so I know Anheuser-Busch owns half the craft beer I like, so don't fucking come for me like they did that senator.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, so let's go ahead and I'm going to open this up real quick. If you don't know about the gay beer controversy of 2023, you've been living under a rock. This is everywhere I've seen. I'm going to open it with this video of this very deranged man destroying beer at his local Walmart. Wait, is this the right
Why
one?
do we give agency to people like this?
Let's see. Here we go. Nope, that's not it.
Did you see that video of that senator being like, I'm just gonna drink Crawford
Where's the
Bock,
video?
and you were like, it's the same brewing
thing.
company, you fucking.
He didn't live in Houston and went
So
to
I
that
can't.
whole,
I don't have the video for
awakening.
this guy. Just was smashing beer at his local Walmart. Really, and the Walmart employees have to clean that shit up. You know what I mean?
Honestly,
But-
the people that aren't making a living wage.
Right. But he's destroying this beer, and this comes on the tail of Kid Rock with a gun shooting the shit out of like fucking Bud Light or some shit, and every motherfucker talking about like I'm not gonna drink Bud Light anymore. I'm gonna drink Coors Light or hell Carbach, which is another Anheuser-Busch company, which is like what one of our Houston congressmen decided to do. Republican, by the way.
Yeah, not a
Sus.
senator. Sorry,
Sus.
I'm uneducated.
Sus. That sounds gay to me. But anyway.
The whole thing is gay to me.
But let's just. I want to get into you to talk about Dylan Mulvaney for a little bit. But every beer company has made a pride campaign for like the last fucking 10 years.
So is every liquor company, every clothing brand, every bank. every
Starbucks,
fucking-
Amazon.
Everybody.
Just wait till it's June and everybody's gonna be supporting
in
the
June,
gays.
And then get this, in June everybody protests anyway.
Yeah.
This happens every fucking year.
Yeah.
When companies, oh, I'm not drinking Tito's this month because they got a rainbow on the bottle.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I know that you like getting your asshole fingered.
Also, it's a really great marketing ploy because when I go to trashy gay bars all the time, the only beer they have is
Bud
Bud Light.
You bring up Timely brings up the greatest point. I have been to a plethora of gay bars in other places, other states, other countries.
Mm-hmm.
But not other countries, but Bud Light. Lesbians. Can we talk about this? Lesbians
Love Bud Light.
Bud Light. So if you thought you had yourself God's beer, you're wrong.
Can I say real quick before maybe we get too into this? You're
Sure.
talking about other companies having pride campaigns.
Every other company.
No, every other company. I've been watching Jack Daniel's teetering
Uh-huh.
pride campaign they've been doing, where it's like a shot of like a bunch of kind of like different, maybe diverse crowd
Right.
at a gay, or not a gay bar, a dive bar,
Uh-huh.
like a shitty dive bar, and it shows clips of all the different kinds of people, and it goes,
You're welcome. Everywhere Jack Daniels is welcome. And I feel
I love that.
but I feel like you know that
Inclusive.
it's inclusive, but it's not necessarily coming out like I kind of wish they were like, fuck
Jack-
you trans people, drink Jack Daniels too. But
Yeah.
also,
But that's also kind of
it's a great
message.
marketing ploy.
You're welcome everywhere. Jack Daniels is welcome.
and you're making your bar say that you sell your fucking liquor
Yeah.
too,
Can you
to
think of a
degree.
place that doesn't have Jack Daniels?
Yeah, exactly.
Come
so
on.
I really do like this. Like
That's
if
an ally.
you're going, dude, if you're
Well,
going to
so-
employ people to be open-minded, put it on their drugs, put it on their guns, put it on their beer.
It's I'm actually hesitant to believe that Bud Light hasn't been doing gay advertisements the last 10 years because
Look
everybody
at that
else
photo
has.
right there.
You know what I mean? Like
This
there's-
album is from, or this article is from 2019.
Is that what
Or
it says?
updated.
There you go.
Okay, but originally there was something
Bud Light
from
will sell
Tuesday.
beer in rainbow bottles 2019.
For Pride
I,
Month.
I know this has been going on for a long time, and now they put a trans person, right, Dylan
Mulvaney.
on a can
And you know what?
Just for inclusion.
She's like one of the most famous people right now, apart from Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like, for real. She really is. She has such a large platform. She reaches so many fucking people. Literally, other than Taylor Swift, I can't think of anybody that's more famous.
I think we should just go see Taylor Swift.
That happened yesterday.
Yeah, Taylor Swift was
She
this
gone.
last weekend.
She on the
gone.
plane already. She out of here. One of the things, like, I don't know.
She was out of here last
kind
night.
of just like on a note of like trans visibility. Like I saw a really awesome advertisement, or like I don't know what to call it when it's like for something good and not company, but it was about
It's marketing.
yeah,
either
marketing
way.
either way. But it was a statement that was just like, if you leave us out, we're not complete, or something like that. Very
Okay.
simple. And they took the T out of the entire sentence, and so the sentence looked incomplete. And so
Got you.
and so the bottom at the thing was like LGBT. Especially the like not especially, but like we wouldn't be the same without the T. I think is what it was.
Yeah.
And so it's like
Yeah.
it is like there's such a like just aim for trans people right now.
Yep.
And it's hot. It's
They're
a topic.
even trying to turn other queer
Well,
people against
Well,
trans
yeah,
people.
no, it's
This is
Yeah.
the thing
and
that's going on.
Well, because there already is though.
They're trying to be divisive.
There is a deep seated though hatred
In
an
the queer
old-fashioned-
community,
in the queer community of queers and queers wanting to alienate trans people.
women especially.
Trans women, especially, like, it's so crazy when you think about, like, when you're in the queer community. Like, I don't know if y'all are. We are. I know that we are for a fact in the queer community.
Sort of.
I'm gonna out you on booze and news
Jonathan's
right
little-
now.
You give me very
Okay.
fluid vibes,
Yeah.
but like I know that we're both queer, and that there is this really, really, really weird, like, deep-seated.
Lesbians hate trans.
Lesbians-
No, I mean that's a very big blanket statement, but that's like a
blatant
good.
statement. But there are lesbians
So
that
you're not
like.
you're not even just getting trans. Like so that's what I'm saying. When I think about we see stuff like that, you're not getting trans hate just from these Republican white men.
No, the trans hate comes from
Predominantly, though.
Predominantly
comes
but
from straight
also
white
within
men,
the
but it
community.
also comes from within the queer community, which is why addressing things like this are so important, because like one of the most beautiful things about being queer is that you can love whoever the fuck you want to love.
Inclusivity.
Inclusive, exactly. So if you don't want to be with a trans woman or a trans man, and whatever that means to them and you, that's totally fine. But we don't have to be fucking haters about it.
No!
We don't have to criticize other people
Dude,
for it.
I said this today to my friend. Like, don't hate yourself because other people, like, that's what haters are for.
I'm so
Be on your
obsessed with
team.
Dylan.
Be on your
Like,
team.
Are you? I mean,
I don't
you're on
really
TikTok
know
a
who
lot.
Dylan is.
I
follow
didn't
her.
know.
I
didn't
don't
know
really
her.
know
I didn't know
who-
her
I don't
either
know
because
who
I don't.
really
I
is.
follow her.
What?
I've been following her
I
since
do-
like day. Like I'm not like one of like her day one.
I discovered Dylan
Yeah.
on TikTok. Yeah.
Is she
She's
just an
awesome.
influencer?
She's
like someone
apparently
who
a
talks about her
huge,
life?
huge
like,
influencer.
She does.
Or does
so
she do
she,
something?
I don't
she
watch
started
TikTok.
HRT. This is what I think it was.
I know
Dylan
she's
started
popular.
HRT.
Which
she
is?
started hormones.
That's all I know.
Oh yeah, hormones replacement therapy.
Yeah, hormone replacement therapy. She started HRT, and Dylan has been making a video diary on TikTok every day saying, "This is day one of me being a girl." So this is
Cool.
day
Oh, I
one
love
to day
that.
365, and she got to have this big, beautiful celebration. But that's how she garnered her audience, and I think that Deleon creates a very safe and wonderful place for queer and not queer individuals online, just people who want to be authentically
Especially
themselves.
Sure.
In the face of adversity, she is just so.
And
she
then-
continues to be so positive and so humble, even though you're like, how is she living in a hotel? That's what I think when I see her. She's like living like at the Ritz Carlton or something crazy. In New
I
York.
just
She's,
can't believe. Like,
living
imagine
somewhere-
getting an email from Bud Light where they're like, "Hey, we
It's
want
such a
you
huge
To be our
to be
fan.
our face." That
And I
has
think
to
that's
be
kind
a
of
Well,
incredible.
yeah. That has to be such a like a
But
career.
Bud
moment
Light
to a
also
degree.
does this all the time, and this is what I was going to get into.
It's to offset. It's offset.
This is what I
fucking-
was going to get into actually with my perspective on this, because it is an amazing opportunity for her. It is amazing. It's flattering. It's like you're saying, right? But their objective at Bud Light in any company, any private companies, corporate companies, they're just trying to make as much money as they can, right?
Yeah.
And so they're actually capitalizing off of her popularity.
And
That's why they
extraordinary.
approached her.
Well,
That's
They're
why
like,
you
"We
hire
want
any
to do
influencer
this."
to do the
That's
job
right.
that you do.
That's right.
And
yeah, it's
they're
great,
still
but-
making money because
Right.
people are buying their shit and just cracking and pouring it out on the street like Bud Light gives a fuck.
Like these cans, and I thought this was very ironic, is like when I went to the grocery store today, and I've looked for these specific cans and I haven't been able to find them for the past 2 weeks, but I was able to find a Texas edition of Bud Light, right? Which is just another marketing ploy for Texans, right? To where
Texans, what
you
do they
get
love? They love Texas. So
and I also thought it was ironic
rice
because
in this?
there is rice in this, which actually, according to the German rules of beer, doesn't make it beer.
No, that's
Yeah.
why I'm so I'm a fucking beer. No, that's why I just said that. I'm a very big beer snob, and if there is rice in your beer, it's a malt, baby. And
It's
I'm
a malt
sorry.
beverage.
But,
That is correct. Bud Light. According to the Germans, at least.
According to the Germans.
The Germans.
I don't agree with
Yeah.
Germans really on anything.
German purity laws?
No, I don't like their breakfast food. I don't like their streets. They're confusing. But I do very much appreciate how absolutely crisp their beer is and
They're
how it
good at
doesn't
making
have.
beer.
Yeah, the big beers are gonna make
One
it
of
good.
the, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Anheuser-Busch is kind of always at the center of a story about selling out. They're a very big company that has a lot of money, and like you just said, they capitalize on it.
They're
You also
they're
have to
actually
think
owned by
about
InBev.
Bud Light.
But so my dad, this is some trauma. Real quick, me and my dad have always been in a fisticuffs about Anheuser-Busch buying Carbuck.
Sure.
Right? My dad is a Houston native. He makes beer. He loves beer, and he's always shut up, Jonathan. And he's always been like a Puritan about it.
Yeah.
And you distracted me, you fucking asshole.
Well, I
Well,
had
hold on,
a point to make.
Go ahead.
Let Abby go.
It was good.
Okay.
It was good.
I
In
really
another
thought it was
universe,
good.
I
you
was-
can
I was
blame
liking
this
the
white
an- I was
man
liking
for
the
making fun
anecdote.
of me.
I'm just saying, when we think of Bud Light,
Yeah.
we think of Bud Light. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I think it was the working.
Somebody cracking this shit up. This is the smartest move. Bud Light could have. My
You're
phone
good.
fell. I'm sitting here drinking this right now. Like, this is not as bad as I remember it being.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's not the best. It's just, it is what it is. It's nothing more than
It's
what
fine.
it is.
I remember my point.
But I
It's
would
fine.
never purchase this. So this is
It's
what
not
I'm saying.
craft.
This is so smart.
I remember
this
my
is so
point.
smart because Gen Z kids are not, typically your
Bud
oh,
Light
I'm a crack
drinkers.
open a Bud Light.
You just opened up a
That's
whole ass
right.
market that you've
and sit
alienated
by
for
my RV
years.
trailer.
That's right.
But now,
And I might have
I
about
might
8
just-
illegitimate kids.
I might
Like,
just do
no.
that.
I always thought of Bud Light, or so like so I think of like a lot of blue collar beer. This is like a blue collar beer to me, right?
Sure.
I mean the can's blue for fuck's sake, right?
I'm drinking
And
Miller, but
yeah. Actually, well,
Yeah,
this
Miller.
episode is brought to us by Bud Light, and because it's a gay beer, but
Sure.
you know that I normally drink Miller.
so do I.
Yeah.
Champagne and beers, baby.
But that is also I think like working class beer. These
Sure.
I think of like
Absolutely.
blue collar beer. Coors is the same way.
So-
like when I'm
But who's the new working class? Oh, you're
Exactly.
dumb, gay, blonde, beautiful twins. Ordering this shit.
Who's living below the poverty line now?
We were the whole time. Sorry, we're
living
young.
below the
all
poverty
of
line.
us, America, we're all poor.
We are.
No, but it is.
It's a fucking marketing ploy. Buy
All right.
whatever fucking beer
It
you
is a
want.
marketing ploy. It is insane.
I
that-
love marketing ploys that offend people.
It is insane that people get so triggered by this that they are going to destroy their beer when they really don't have enough. Like the average Joe that buys this kind of stuff doesn't have the kind of money to dump it down the drain or blow it up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's the same kind of thing when like a sports, like an athlete
Actually,
goes,
no,
goes
hold on.
woke or whatever. We gotta burn
I'm a
their,
very poor beer drinker.
Yeah.
This costs the same about anything else at the gas station. You can go and drink Busch Light or nothing if you're actually broke.
Well, she's
It's
actually talking
$11.
facts right
This
now.
about 15.
But Busch Light is actually part of Anheuser-Busch, so also gay beer.
I will.
Exactly.
Gay beer.
Yeah.
I think Bud Light is a tasty good beer. And when I first moved out to Manville, I was meeting people that were drinking this a lot,
Yep.
and I realized, oh, it makes sense.
Well, you're all about the light beer.
Well, it's
I know
about
you, yeah.
well, it's considered water, right? The water thing. But here's the thing about drinking beer that's like,
But you're talking about ABV. Albert
This-
likes a beer that's about 5%.
No, I don't.
No,
This
he's
is
told
about
me this.
4.2.
Yeah.
Well,
4.2.
I'll Google it.
It says right here.
It says it right here.
4.2.
Stella's my favorite
We
beer,
have
but
women here.
my
We can
point is
read.
Bud
Don't
Light
worry.
is a great.
But you always like light beer. Every time we drink beer, you don't want an IPA. You don't
Well,
want
one of the
you don't want
reasons is
stout.
the reason is that if you drink light beer, the party can keep going.
That's
Albert can
true.
keep partying.
Like I said, I saw Albert,
There's an
beautiful,
art to
wonderful, within like 2 hours of his event yesterday, and he was the most handsome, smiliest man I've
Aw.
ever seen. I was like, you always
Because
look
I was drinking
angry
this.
here when we're serving you
Because
light beers,
That's
but
right.
when the bar is serving you pitchers of beer you like,
That's right.
I was
I'm taking
in a
it
good,
personally.
I was in a good
So
mood.
before we wrap on this, though, I kind of wanted to throw like I applaud.
Be the last thing we got wrapped up.
I want to say that there's a part of me that finds this actually kind of a shitty thing because
Me too.
I don't think Anheuser-Busch gives one fucking iota of
Yeah.
fucks about trans people
For
or
sure.
gay people or poor people or any people
Yeah.
or sports fans or
Yeah.
Texans or anybody. This is their ploy.
It's a marketing
It's
plan.
a marketing ploy, right? And it's when you were talking about every company does it, go to Amazon. In June it's going to
Yeah.
be pride flags
Rainbows
and Starbucks, and everybody's going to be playing that fucking card.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, do they pay their employees worth the fuck? Do they give trans people extra medical benefits
No, they
for
give a
their
fuck
hormone
about beer. They're
replacement
trying to sell
therapy
you
or anything?
beer.
They don't really
No,
care
I
about
don't
the
give a
fuck.
You know.
No, so that, hold on, real quick, reminds me of my topic I lost earlier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end it. With selling out, there's a lot of, I think, like judgment when people kind of sell out, whether it is for, we're talking about Carbach with
Sure.
Anheuser-Busch. When they bought Carbach,
Yeah.
they were attractive because it was a craft beer. It was a small batch craft
Texas.
beer,
Right.
Texas place, and that was incredibly trendy. Now there are thousands of craft beer companies when there used to be like 8.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they capitalized on that. That was awesome. That was new. That was trendy. That was cool. They're going to do that with, like you said, athletes. They're going to do that with Dylan
Yeah.
right here. And it gets to a point where it's, I don't know, this is maybe my own cubicle of thought where, dude, if I can be me, if I can do my own goddamn thing for so long and I did it so well that you want to buy it from me, take it.
Yeah.
Like, because now Carbach can retire. Now Dylan has a fuck ton of money in
She
their bank
can,
account.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I do agree with you. The basis and the intention of doing it is slightly
Exploitative.
expletive, yeah, or exploitive. And but at the end of it, when something like that does happen, you are supporting usually individuals and small businesses who have done their own thing for a long time and have been told no in a lot of
Who
ways
wouldn't be
until it
flattered?
became
Yeah.
and they're not even flattered. It's a paycheck.
It's a paycheck, but
And-
it's also,
and-
but there is also
gotta
like a
respect
thing.
But
where,
there
like,
is also
I would
a-
be flattered to be sponsored
but
by
also
Bud
no
Light or
one's
whatever.
going to pay you legitimately
Yeah.
for being the coolest
Yeah.
fucking
Absolutely.
craft beer place. No one's
Right.
gonna pay you for being the most fucking
Yeah.
trendy
That's why they
queer
need-
representative.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it's not a matter of
who's
art;
gonna
it's a
pay
matter
you?
of views
And
all that.
and so if I'm gonna make my living being myself, and if
Yeah.
someone wants to buy it from me one day,
no. Okay.
I don't know. That's always been my view on Anheuser-Busch,
Well, that's
and
our
my
view.
dad can fight me on it, which was what I was gonna say earlier.
All right, Abby, you've got to leave, but do you
I
have any
do.
last final thoughts for us? Do you
Tell us
anything you
where we
wanna
can
plug?
see you. Tell us
We
why
can
you're
see you
moving,
going on.
maybe.
Yes. Well, if you're in the Houston area, you can see me pretty much anywhere. Improv, The Riot, The Secret Group, performing. But come June 1st, I am moving. I'm moving to New York City, which is very, very exciting. I have absolutely fucking nothing lined up for when I move there, so
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just kind of going. But if you do live in the Houston area, you can make it out to a little show called TNA Tuesdays every single Tuesday at 10 p.m. After I move, that show will be succeeded on by my co-host Hesper Gold, who is amazing, beautiful, lovely, and hilarious, and she's going to do great. And thank you for having me.
Oh.
We love you so much more than
I, would,
you.
I hope to come see you, and whenever you're back, come see us if you're down.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm
I'll
like
be back in July.
I've been okay. Tell me when those dates
I'm back July 10th, which is a Monday.
because
That's great. Yeah,
I'm already looking at like
If
New
you
York
don't have other
tickets to
priorities.
just
Please
come
come
and
visit
bother
me.
you. Like literally, when you
Please
told
come
me
visit
that
me.
drunk at 3 in the morning the other night, I went home and was like,
No, I have
Yeah.
a pull-out couch. Please sleep on it.
cool.
Excellent.
You don't want to cuddle?
We can cuddle.
I don't
We
want to
can
touch.
also-
I don't want to touch you. I'm sorry. I'm a very personal space monkey.
I was like, when I'm sleeping, no.
I'm a
Before
personal
sleeping, I'll
space
Hey,
cuddle.
let's all
Okay.
admit that cuddling is
But-
fine until it's time to sleep,
Yeah,
and then
and
it's
then-
like
Butt
get
to
the
butt.
fuck off of me.
butt to
Butt
butt,
to
butt to
butt,
butt, butt to
elite.
butt.
And that way the farts can commingle, you know?
Right?
Sleep farts.
Heart
All right.
transplant.
All right, well,
In New York
we're, gonna
City.
take, we're gonna take a little break.
I
We'll be
hate
right
it.
back, y'all. Cheers.
Woo!
Welcome back to Booze and News, you guys. We're here at the Rec Room, and our episode today is being brought to us by Milam Greene. Milam Greene, delicious whiskey, and this episode is their straight rye whiskey finished in port wine cask. We are getting into this bottle here.
We're half a bottle in.
Mhm.
So if you
I'm
have
still
any questions
I'm
about
still
the
drinking mine.
So if people on TikTok want to act like that's a bunch of drunk people talking about the news, they're correct.
they're very
That's
correct.
exactly what's going on right now.
Again, I would like to say that this wonderful whiskey is made in Texas by 2 wonderful women.
Mm-hmm.
Whiskey women, Texas.
Well, can I get a cheers
things
from
are
y'all?
my favorite.
That's what we call evolution.
That's what we call
Progression.
Darwinism.
Progressiveness.
And Darwinism.
Darwinism. I don't know about that. That's all right. Anyway.
I didn't
They
know.
are done making whiskey.
I don't even know what that means. I just.
I'm saying that eventually women will make the best whiskey in the world.
Yeah. Why not? Oh shit. All right. Talkies are out. All right. We're going. All right.
Churritos.
So, welcome back to the show. We're going to go ahead and go to our next topic. This is another one where if you haven't heard about this topic, you've been living under some kind of rock. The Dalai Lama was caught in a viral video recently. Here's the video. I love that they blurred this out in the video.
Well, I mean, he's a minor. You can't have a minor.
The original version I saw was not. But there's this video of this old-ass Dalai Lama asking this kid to suck his tongue, like, in front of, I'm guessing, hundreds of people. You know what I mean?
So I read a bunch of stuff because I was incredibly appalled and horrified when I saw this. But I saw a bunch of accounts saying that it is a cultural saying.
Suck my tongue?
Suck my tongue, because apparently in culture it means it's a saying elders use to the children, which means like, oh, you're gonna ask me for everything, you want to suck my tongue too. And apparently it's a very, very common phrase where children are asked, hey, can I have your thing? Can I have blah, blah, blah? Just asking their parents for so many things. And so it's a very normal, you want to suck my tongue too? You want to take my words from me? You want to, it's a loose translation, but like thousands of people on the internet have been saying that this is a very normal thing to say.
Now, I want you, all right, to say.
Which I didn't want to be wrong. I was about to fucking kill the Dalai Lama, bro. I'm ready.
All right, let's stop with the talkies for a second here, so we're not chewing talkies all episode, if you don't mind. But, and she's, all right. If it was the phrase in itself, that would be one thing. This isn't a phrase. This is an old religious figurehead asking a child to suck his tongue. You know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying.
No, but that is the phrase.
But you could say it's a phrase. No. There's a difference between a phrase and an action. The action is he sticks his tongue out and is literally
And it actually does it,
expecting
yeah.
the child to do it. You know
So
what I
that's
mean?
where I don't know if, like, in cultural appropriateness is when they say that phrase, does the action then happen afterwards? But apparently it is a very normal thing to say to a child.
In the defense of that, if you wanted to play devil's advocate, right? We could probably all agree that that's a terrible phrase and a terrible expectation, right?
Oh, absolutely. I don't agree with this at all, but I'm not trying to, like, hate on the people's...
But I think that what you're alluding to is that there may be like a Westernist kind of perspective
Oh, yeah,
to
that-
look
yeah,
at this
yes,
and
yeah.
go, oh, it's fucked up, whatever, right? Like, but again, hold yourself to that same expectation. If this was the Pope or this was like any other religious figure in our perspective, right, that was asked to do this, right, we would immediately go to that guy's a fucking pedophile, that guy's a fucking child abuser, you know what I mean?
That's kind of when you go between your gut instinct versus your logical brain. When your logical brain is telling you, like, oh no, this is the cultural custom, you can say that, blah, blah, blah. When your gut instinct literally just sees this video and goes, oh my God, that's wrong. And I think it's incredibly harmful for either side to take precedent.
Well, all right, so let's say
Because I mean, but besides the fact, like, if you're hurting children, obviously that's like, but you know what I mean by that? Like,
right,
it's
yes,
a.
but I do disbelieve that this is a cultural norm that they actually do practice. I don't agree.
You don't believe
with
that?
And also, even if it was like, so I went to school for anthropology. There's a thing about it where you're supposed to look at other cultures unbiased, right? And it's difficult as fuck to do, right? Because we have our own culture.
I
we
think
have
it's
our own
totally fucked up. It
understanding.
makes me so nervous.
But even like I said, one, I do not believe this is legitimately a cultural practice there. Like if they were like, yeah, you know, where they're from, they suck each other's tongues. It's like, you know, like instead of us giving each other a handshake or a kiss on the cheek, it's like, oh, we suck each other's tongues. That's what we do. That would be different. I do not believe that's a cultural norm. And I do believe that this was very sus behavior.
No, I firmly, I mean, I believe that any fucking, male in a power probably shouldn't have it because they did some bad things to get there, including the Dalai Lama.
Let's get into some of that. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, I just, as a person in the world, I really firmly believe that kind of stuff happens, and especially when you're someone like the Pope, you're someone like the Dalai Lama, you're a president, you're a prime minister. You
political
can,
figure,
a political figure,
or at least a figurehead of any sort.
And you can present yourself as you're presenting yourself. Period. You're presenting yourself. Period.
Oh, he's a holy man.
And there, I don't know. It made me very, very uncomfortable because it literally just fuck all the other cultural norms, all like everything I just said about why it may have been okay. You're putting a little child into like an emotional corner where you are meeting one of the most important people probably that you're going to meet in
your family, to your
life.
culture.
Now,
Exactly.
If I met the Dalai Lama, I'd feel the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what would you do if the Dalai Lama asked you to suck his
I
tongue?
would probably do it, and I'd feel weird about it afterwards, just like I did with all the other men who asked me to suck their tongue. Like, but so it feels like a little bit like there's a lot of outer comments on it and the inner comment, the experience between the two people was there was one, again, like I'm saying, fuck everything that seems okay and not okay.
Did you find it to be sexual or no?
I found it to be incredibly fucking uncomfortable. I have never sucked an adult man's tongue as a child in my life.
Well, I'm saying even as an adult, if someone asked you to do that.
No, I mean, yeah, I've only done that with like my partner I've been with for a year, you know, and it's like a joke, and because it's such a weird thing, and so for an adult, because like I said, fuck all of our opinions on it. I think that's where we get into an outer focus that convolutes the situation. If we're talking about two people, it's an old man and a young kid. Yeah. And the old man experience is that a young kid sucked his tongue, and the young kid's experience is that he sucked an old man's tongue.
Yeah.
That's fucking wrong.
It's weird. And
that's fucking wrong. And I'll go to bat for it. You can say it's culturally appropriate. I'm not trying to bash your culture. Cool, whatever. But I know in my culture, you're gonna go to fucking jail for that, bro. Like, and I'm cool with it. That's valid
criticism. What was your original take of this? Like,
I mean, it was so crazy. I just think it's. I mean, it was so weird and crazy. I feel like if it's such a part of their culture, then why is it just like happening now? You know what I mean? Like, this is like he's been on television for a long time. He's had children around him.
That's what I'm saying. I don't.
Why did he just randomly?
Because if this is the way it was cultural, he would have started all of his approaches that same way.
Right.
He doesn't.
Right. I sort of so there are two things going. He's either always been a perv and hid it, and he's now reaching an age, and I've seen this with old people, they could reach an age where
Cognitive decline.
they are not thinking correctly anymore.
Sure.
That could be an excuse.
And they're just letting their true selves come out, and they're just being themselves.
Well, are they still the Dalai Lama then? Well, is your free spirit
I
working
mean,
through that dimension, or like the God spirit
Here's the
working
thing:
through your dementia?
if it was a cultural thing, and it was this thing that they do, and it was a saying they would have been doing, he would have been known for this from the jump.
Well,
He's never done it. He does it out of nowhere
Right.
now.
Right.
And I think it's because he's getting at an age where his brain's not functioning
He's
correctly.
slipping. He got caught slipping.
Exactly.
well, okay.
And he's fucking losing it, and
Do you-
he's fucking acting retarded.
Do you think maybe it's kind of been like missed steps? Because Gandhi became a super popular, wonderful, spiritual fixture in the entire world, and it is not talked about enough that the fact that one of the reasons he proved his holiness regularly to people was that he slept with undressed
That's right.
13-year-olds
Mm-hmm.
to prove he didn't do anything with them. And this,
Mhm.
he didn't do anything with them, but to prove his holiness.
But what a weird
he
position to put them in to
slept
just prove that.
No, it's the whole issue to begin with. Sorry,
Yeah.
as a woman, that's, oh, you're not going to fuck my... I can't go into that. But I think there is a long history of spiritual and religious leaders who
Oh yeah.
can get away with a lot
Mm-hmm.
until
They're above
it's
the-
something
they're
that
above the law
happens
to
in
some
the
degree,
public
yeah.
eye like that,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh, wait a minute, y'all actually saw
I think
that.
I think I do think he's probably been a perv. I think religion in itself, the religious
Circles.
yeah, the religious world in itself, whether it's in America or if it's wherever, I think it is a perverse world, and it's indulgence in slavery, and children are slaves, and the Bible talks about all this. Religion talks about all this. This is all part of the Bible. The Bible is all about honoring your, I have a mother that has issues with, and she connects to the Bible, and it makes sense because she's mentally ill, and
As someone who has read the Bible, I can tell you there's nothing in there that says you shall not have a kid suck your tongue. So I mean, according to
no,
the
but
Christian
but
theology,
it does talk about people killing children and sacrificing children
Sure.
for God.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna kill, if the shit's about killing children, why wouldn't it have this shit in
And
there?
that's an interesting perspective, I think, to go.
The Bible, look, religion itself is fucked up. So it's
but
why don't
but-
we just get
Man.
over it? It's a fucked up concept.
Oh, I'm with you.
It's disgusting. It was built like a million years ago.
I think what we're finding, right, is that these things that are sacred, right, like the Dalai Lama or the Pope or religion, and if any figurehead of itself, right, is that they cannot hold to our standards of modern day morality. And of course they can't, because this shit is thousands of years old. I mean, we were just talking about how earlier in the episode, people were like, let's go back to the olden times of when we could do this fucked up shit. And those olden times were what, 60 years ago? I mean, morality has been so changed, especially in our culture in the last 100 years,
Yeah.
right? That it makes this seem so outlandish. It makes it seem so absurd.
Maybe
that
10
you
years ago it wouldn't have been, even.
Exactly, even 10 years
Even
ago,
10
maybe,
years ago, it
maybe in
wouldn't
like
have
the
seemed so bad.
early 2000s, right? They're like, well, he just got a little bit of this
Well,
concept.
okay, I don't know. So, and that, yes, I agree with that. I think when stories like this come out, one of the things I notice the most, even talking about like the other things in the episode that we were speaking about, is not only, putting 10 Commandments into school, that it's on the face level, it's like we're trying to do a thing, but on the back level, it's just making other people who agree with that stance comfortable and able to assimilate.
Right.
And so, like, with this, even this was like I don't know, I felt like it was in another world. Like, there's someone I know who's a distant family member. That's the only reason why we're friends on Facebook, is a distant family member who I know have done horrendous things, like in a sexual assault manner. And a day and a half after this happened with the Dalai Lama, that motherfucker posted a Dalai Lama quote.
Mm.
And so if you look at that, oh wow, that's just a man who's posting something nice and uplifting and wonderful. But if you have a total outer focus, even on accident, this dude is letting motherfuckers with a terrible reach of consent come and assimilate with them. And it's something every single person as a figure has to be careful of. But you have to be fucking careful of it. Because if you do something like this, I promise you, incels, rapists, assholes are going to fucking start posting Dalai Lama quotes after you fucking assault a child.
And again, this is just what was caught.
I'm upset about
again,
this,
this is just what was caught on camera. You know what I mean? We don't know what's behind the scenes or whatever. And I can't help but Albert knows this because we've been doing this for a couple of years now. He knows I have a serious distrust of organized religion.
Oh yeah.
I have a serious distrust because when you associate people with the idea of being infallible because of their holiness, you know what I mean? You're willing to give them
because of something I claimed you. Because of something I gave you.
Right, you're willing to give them a pass, right? And it's like, look, let's say at best, right? Let's say at best that this guy isn't trying to abuse children or whatever, but he's just a goofy ass old weirdo, right? It does expose, even in that, what he is.
No,
and,
it does.
And
yeah.
his religion and his position. And it's like, really? Are you that holy? Are you that? You know what I mean? And I'm saying, like, it has been well aware to me for a long time, and I know this might sound culturally insensitive, but that this is all a crock of shit. You know what I mean? This is all a bunch of bullshit, you know? And there's a reason why you should have a healthy skepticism of any organized religion, in my opinion.
And authority.
And authority.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And there's much more we could go into about the history of the Dalai Lama. When I started researching this stuff, a good friend of mine, Tim, was telling me, shout out to Tim.
I love Tim.
He was saying, like, yeah, you know, this guy was a big prop by the CIA, right? To fuck over China because they were like, oh, we don't like the communists, let's give this guy a bunch of support.
That's what
all this kind
happens
of
whenever
stuff.
you give your whole faith to one human being. If you have enough money, you can make that human being anything you want to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I would never be like a racist asshole, like police pursuing person. But like, if someone paid me enough money, I'd get close to that. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't. I could never be. But like, I don't know. It seems like in this day and age, when we have with anything, there's a face and there's a figure. With any company, right? Even your company, with your comedy, you have a face, and you have the people that work.
Anybody can
and our
exploit,
thing, you have a face, you have the people that work.
Know, the more power that you have, the more potential you have to do good or do bad, right?
Well, we're doing good, but that's what I'm saying. It's
Well, we don't
like
have a lot of power right now, right?
Yeah, no.
But the more power you have, the more
Maxed
you
out
get.
comedy
Right.
does bad.
But for, like a quick segue before we leave this, there was another report that came out around the same time, and it's weird to me, like, to circle back to what we've been talking about, kind of this whole episode. We were talking about like Bud Light and the cops abusing power, and just people basically abusing power, whether it's corporations or police or the government or religious entities, right? The Catholic Church, a report just came out that more than 150 Catholic priests and clergy members associated with specifically the Baltimore region, right, have been accused of exploiting and abusing children since the 1940s. 600 children have came forward, or no, they're not children now, but 600 people have come forward and said they were abused by this small group of people in Baltimore, one fucking city, right, by more than 150 priests, right, and members of that church, right?
Yeah.
And how come there is such an outrage against trans people trying to do a drag show or teachers trying to be gay, but not this shit, right? And it really is I believe that like people have their blinders on that are on a certain perspective of our culture because they do not want to think about this. They don't want to think that their side has actually been the side that's been doing so much of the harm that they're worried about, you know?
Yeah.
They have like a cognitive dissonance to it. So, it's fucked up, and in my personal opinion, I think he should step the fuck down. I think he should retire and then get another Dalai Lama.
I think it's over. Yeah, I think he's he's done enough.
What's really kind of awesome about TikTok and all that shit is there is a. What's really kind of awesome about TikTok and all that bullshit is a lot of younger people who've had very specific experiences about like stuff like this kind of get to come out and explain.
They have a platform.
They have a platform where they're not getting a news media to hire them to share their story.
They can share their own story.
They can share their own story.
They're enabled.
And they're enabled. And like I can't remember for the life of me right now what that like ridiculous camp where a lot of people send their children to.
Conversion therapy.
Not conversion therapy, the one that's in the middle of nowhere where they like give you nothing. It's for like drug addicts.
Oh, like a get dry kind of thing, like
And it's a whole thing that's blown up on TikTok now where there was a lot of children whose rich parents sent them to this camp that they put them in the middle of nowhere, and it was supposed to be a conversion kind of like, hey, get better, don't be like, you know, answer D, all of the
rehabilitation.
above. Rehabilitation camp.
Yeah.
Rehabilitation camp. But in the end, it was just this incredibly traumatic, like, cultish experience. And the only way we can talk about, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So, like, I understand, like,
so I have a
stuff
perspective
like this,
kind of,
but I love giving people the microphone, man.
I kind of have a perspective on that. And before we move on from this, and this is another reason why I'm a big, like, I do believe in big government. Because who's going to watch the Watchmen? You know that saying? Mm-hmm. Right? When you have organizations that are doing things, who is the person or persons that are going to come around and monitor and see that it's above board, right? And at the end of the day, that's the government's responsibility, right? They have to make sure that everything's on the up and up, right? And how do you fund that? How do you do that? The government has to be capable of that. Because if we leave things
the government
to
needs
the
to be in
will,
charge of fucking McDonald's to be able to pay their fucking employees to run
and that's,
reserve parks.
and
Why?
we were talking about that earlier about wages and all that. I mean, at the end of the day, the government has a responsibility to its constituents to provide basic, you know, kind of necessities. You know, whether it's economic or mental health or health. Or, you know what I mean? Like, that's why we have, like, things like let's say you get injured on the job, right? Who provides for you? The government comes in and says, you're hurt at work. The government makes sure that you get money. Same thing with sexual abuse. And that should be extended, if it isn't already, to these religious organizations. And you know what I mean? Because that's the only people that can regulate them. There's no magical entity that just is going to do it, right? We require that our government does.
I looked into starting my own church about 1,000 times.
Oh yeah, well, it would be a cult, Timely, and I might join your cult, but then I might still want your cult to be regulated because
no, I wouldn't want my cult to be regulated. So hard. Again, this is where we get in the social.
Well, speaking about cults,
where are we
let's
going
move to
next?
our last topic of the day, you guys, and this is the cult called MAGA, and it's about. I would say it's the dominant cult of the Republican Party still to this day.
The MAGA people?
The Make America Great people.
Okay, I was looking at the screen and I was like, this is not what we were talking about.
Yeah. So it's 2023. Next year's an election year.
Don't tell me that. Is that for real?
Yeah, I know. It seems like we've just gone through an election, but we're already coming upon the next one. And all signs are pointing to Donald Trump is going to be the front runner of the Republican Party.
I called it since 2016.
And he's going to run again, and we'll see what happens. But what I wanted to talk about before we kind of get into a larger discussion about that is how Donald Trump recently put out a hit on Spotify and iTunes. It was the #1 downloaded song for
I
the week
didn't
that it
hear
came
this.
out.
You told me this shit, and I
Oh,
didn't
we're
believe
about
you,
to
and I didn't want to
We're about
fucking
to
hear
listen
it.
to it. Are you ready?
When did this happen? Because was I asleep for 7 days? Because I
was
promise
last-
you, I'm a very trendy,
This-
hot individual,
This was a couple of weeks ago.
and I did not hear about
Let's
this.
just get our react. We're gonna listen
That's
to
why I
this.
think numbers are fake, and y'all are all lying to me, dude.
We're gonna listen to this. And
It doesn't get on my feed. So
We're gonna
fuck
listen
y'all.
to this track, and we're gonna get our reaction to it.
Actually, so far it slaps.
What's happening?
This is the. By the way, this is
Oh,
Donald Trump and the January 6th choir, which were people that were arrested on January 6th.
Can you turn it off? Was it recorded in a...
Waldo stood up, by the way. I feel like you're gonna put your hand over your chest right here.
No, I'm wearing a hat.
He respects.
Look, I love baseball as much as you do, Waldo, but... I'm gonna kill myself. Turn it off.
You get this what this is, right? This is a
Yeah.
this is a mashup of Donald Trump saying the Pledge of Allegiance over the January 6th flag,
No, obviously,
doing the national anthem.
I get that. Was it recorded by someone like 2 miles away on an iPhone?
It is
Like... No, for real though.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Why was this topping? Like, are you serious? How long was this on the top charts?
So, let's get into that. I'm gonna go.
Because this makes no. It sounds like it was recorded from my fucking like iPod I left in my pocket, and I can say that too. That's cool.
Waldo and I are
I
understanding
make-
that you're not getting exactly like who this demographic is playing to. But this was the #1 downloaded and recorded song the week it came out. It actually beat the #2 song by double figures. The #2 song was that Miley Cyrus song that came out, which I believe...
Flowers?
Flowers, yeah.
I love that song. I know that song word for word. Do I know our anthem? No.
You don't know the national anthem? I mean, good on you, honestly.
Do it look like I've made it a
Good on
I've
you.
made it a part. Look, I hate the national.
I'm mad that I know it, honestly.
No, I hate any kind of like nationalism because I feel like we were bred to understand it's a free country and like government forced down our throats gives me like Russia vibes. But I like going to baseball games and a part of the baseball game. That's the only time I'll pretend to be an American. Is
Oh, they do it.
during the baseball game, and so I'll take my hat off or whatever.
It's weird as fuck to me every time it happens. Every
It's
time I'm at a
so-
sports game or something like that.
To me,
it's
it
like,
makes
we
no
gotta
sense.
do
It's
it.
the only thing that we care about as America above sports is singing a stupid song. That's gay as shit right there. I'm gonna tell you what. But every time I do go to the baseball game, I love hearing a little tiny white girl sing her goddamn heart out. And I'm an artist, so
Right.
I don't listen to her words. But no, this
All right, to your point, I'm gonna go around.
take my point because I'm
Oh,
confused.
wait. Yeah, that sounded like shit, right, Albert?
Yes.
Yeah.
Albert,
As I said, my
explain to me-
iPhone
Explain
from
to
third-
me what that song, because you're a fan of music. Explain to me what that was.
That was.
Was that even music?
No.
Explain to me. What was that? What did we just
That's
listen to?
more. That's more on the noise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a sick ass noise song.
Noise music.
All you gotta do.
A spoken word, possibly noise, alt.
Do you have a remix?
Oh, we could remix, I suppose, it, but I mean, that would be taking like a
sounded-
turd
no,
and dressing it up.
It sounded
You know?
fucking awful.
But it just sounded
it
far
sounded
away.
gross and
It sounded like
disturbing.
just like a guy who
It just
recorded his
sounded-
phone at a Trump rally.
Here's the figures
it
on
didn't
this.
sound-
So Donald J. Trump and the J6 prison choirs, Justice for All,
I hate these.
entered the Billboard's digital song sales chart on March 25th at #1. The recording sold 33,000 downloads from 1 week, March 10th to the 16th. according to Luminate. The track also drew 442,000 official U.S. streams, which, by the way, if you don't keep track of this shit, is
A lot.
very impressive.
Yeah, I know.
And 25,000 in U.S. radio audience from March 10th to the 16th. That week it was the number one title on the 50th position streaming songs chart. The number one entry. And then it talks about the Miley Cyrus. So Miley Cyrus had half. I looked at this, and I like below half of the number of downloads for Flowers, which is,
Okay, can Booze and News make a
better song than that tonight.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Drunk as
Tonight,
fuck,
after we end this, can we just sing the Pledge of Allegiance together and release it on Apple Music?
Well, so that is actually a funny idea, because all he is doing is playing to this bass.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's not
and it's
creative.
like if we could be all as socialist as we want, but if we did the Pledge of Allegiance and put that shit up on fucking YouTube, I bet you we could fucking grow our shit, because they're like, hell yeah, USA.
We have to do it now. You know that, right?
USA.
We have
I
to
think
do it
I
now.
think we should do it.
I think we should do it. And
I'm
let's
down.
see how far we go. Because maybe that's how we get to you motherfuckers.
Well, let's do it right now. You ready? I'm gonna play the national anthem.
I'm gonna drink the rest of this. I don't think Abby had any whiskey in her drink.
And y'all keep talking amongst yourselves
Albert,
while
you didn't like my
But
comment.
yeah. As a music lover, you keep talking about this and how.
Let me go pee.
No, we're almost done. We got 5 minutes.
All right.
So
You're not allowed. You can hold my hand though. Okay, fuck
what
you.
Decade
I don't wanna hold
lyrics are we singing?
we're gonna do the national anthem,
The Star Spangled Banner.
But we're gonna sing this right now.
the Star Spangled Banner.
Alright,
And it can-
Wait, I thought we were gonna sing the Pledge
and
of
you have,
Allegiance.
no. But I'm gonna do that like Donald Trump over it, like he did.
Okay.
Sing it too, Albert. It's right there.
At the twilight's last gleaming,
And I pledge allegiance
whose bright stars
to the flag
and bright stars through the perilous fight.
One nation,
But
under God.
But we something.
Sing some of this. Albert. You're the part for it. And all the communists can suck my
and police officers can eat my clit. Star Spangled Banner, yeah, wave. We need a better ending.
I think we did it, y'all. So, anyway,
We all think we did it. We did nothing.
we did
This
not.
is the worst.
Hey, I don't know if that's worse than the other version, honestly.
It's
Hey,
literally the
it would-
worst.
well,
Y'all didn't let me do it by myself, that's why.
But she was. Oh, cheers to you.
I love that I'm the only one.
all right. Well, we're done, you guys. This has been another episode of Booze and News here at Rec Room. Thanks for tuning in.
I want to be with y'all.
You can join us. You want to come?
Come over here.
We were gonna
Come
give you-
booze and news.
And
It's alright.
we'll be back next month. We're gonna talk more booze. We have a great guest, Blair, who's gonna be here next week. And
Are we gonna talk more news?
We're gonna talk more news. We're talking more booze. Probably get way more into whiskey, actually. But also, I love you guys. And Timely, where can folks find you?
You can find me on Instagram at call_UR_mom or Timely Rain. You can find me on Facebook there too. Anywhere around Montrose for Wandering Drunk at midnight.
And people should call their mom, right?
What?
People should call.
Oh yeah, no. So call your fucking mom. That's why I made it my whole Instagram. I'm not a selfish, egotistical asshole like every other comedian. I want to remind you to call your mom.
Noble. In fact, if that's your cult, I'm kind of about it. You also have a show that's a weekly show.
I have a show that's a weekly show at Brazil Cafe. If y'all are in Houston, it's every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. It's a totally open mic for all kind of artists and their artistry. Even if you think it's super weird, I'd love to figure out how to show it to people. So bring it to me. I have a show here at the Rec Room called The Pond. I'm also doing shows over at the Purple Hippo in Houston as well. If y'all want to take a look at any of those things, like I said, Google Timely Rain. If you find a person when you Google
That's probably
it, it's me.
Yeah.
So you'll be okay.
Albert, what you got?
Albert Deleon comedy. That's it.
No,
on
you got
Instagram.
maxed out.
You got maxed out
you got more than
comedy.
that.
Oh yeah, maxed out comedy.
Where you got shows coming up?
We got shows coming up in Waterway and Cottonwood.
Which days?
Cottonwood.
Which days can they go check those out?
Coming out every Wednesday, every Thursday. Just follow us on Maxed Out Comedy on Instagram. That's what you got to do.
All right,
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm Jonathan. You can follow me on Return of Jonathan, or you can find out things that are going on here at the Rec Room. We have an amazing play going on right now. Tally knows about that.
All of our, even if you see this in 7 months, the play we're having right now is amazing.
But this
Come
is
and see.
particularly amazing, and there's a short time limit on this. So if I get by chance get this up in the next week, there's another week left of Wolf Play going on, directed by my friend Lily Wolf here at this space.
Absolutely
It's
amazing.
a
It's
great
one of the best.
show.
It reinvigorated that kind of like theater
And
love.
you can check that out. We have improv that we're doing 2 to 3 times a month, it seems here.
I'm there too.
And Tom was there too for that. And we do stand-up comedy shows like The Pond.
I'm
We
there
have
too for that.
Kevin McDonald is going to be here from New Kids in the Hall next month.
We got Comments.
Yeah, Comments is coming. That's another show that Albert's going to be doing next month. So please, if you get a chance in Houston, come check that out. And until next time, boozers, cheers.
I'm gonna hold y'all's faces like this. Come here.